What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Hot Jukes, and welcome back to the Titan series. Here we go. We're now entering week number 3. I hope you guys are excited as I am. We got a lot of action, a lot of stuff coming up in just a few moments. Why don't we go ahead and run the intro video, and we will, well, actually, we already had the intro video. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to intro you guys with the desk. Let's go ahead and bring everybody on in here. Well, Dave, how you feeling? Uneven? What is going on? Dave, I'm going to start with you.
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Thanks for the sweet intro. I'm looking forward to today, man. Things are looking good. Things are cooking up in the kitchen, man. It's Titan series, baby.
Let's go, baby. See, that was the intro video we were waiting for right there. Uneven, how you feeling, bro?
Same old. I'm very excited for these games. You know, today we're getting the bottom 4 relegated, so you know this is when the pressure's on. This is when the action's most packed. So I'm excited to see what happens.
You know what? I agree 100%. Uneven, dude, I'll tell you what. I have never heard anything more accurate in my entire life, dude. You are so excited. I know you are, man. Right? What is the thing that excites you the most here at the start of this tournament?
What's excited me the most in this tournament? Well, you know, I always love international play. That's always the most, for me when I was a player, that was the most exciting things, right? Facing off against Brazil. They're a very, very strong country, a very strong region altogether. And it's really the best practice we can get in preparation for those global performances, you know, the ones that matter most. So whenever I see these opportunities, you know, I love watching it. I love playing it.
Gotta agree 100%. I tell you what, if you are an NA team, this is the place, right, to be here. Because you get to face some of those international squads. And we definitely saw a lot of these international teams, you know, really pop off here in the past couple of weeks here, Dave.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm looking at season 1. It was YKG the champ. Season 2, 3, it was C4. But now we're looking at Loops, ATON, intense game here this time around. We might have a new champ here at the end of the season, Hot Jukes, to kind of add on to your point right there.
It was absolutely insane. As a matter of fact, in week 1, it was a tense game, and ATON that won all the days. All the days, right? All the games in that day. So I want to take a look here at some of the replays of what we've seen so far. And even,
I mean, honestly, what we've seen so far, in my opinion, is a whole lot of Brazilian domination mechanically, macro-wise, which isn't surprising, right? They are the more evolved region. But, you know, I'm hoping we learned something from their play. We studied up. By we, I'm referring to the NA teams, and that we're going to see some more refined, cleaner play today. You know.
So let me ask you this: like, you know, we have definitely seen, you know, I guess I'll use your word, right? Refined gameplay from Brazil. Why do you think that is compared to North America?
Well, I mean, they've always had, in my opinion, just a more passionate community. You know, you can really tell by when you watch these players' streams, or especially in person at these tournaments, they're very passionate about the game, very competitive, and I think there's not quite as much drive and you know, passion, you know, wanting to improve from the NA community, and they don't have as much practice because as a result of that. So I think that's one of the biggest difference, truly. You know, it's just the amount of effort put into the scene by these players. Yeah.
That passion, you can see some of that from Ayala right there. That play, just for never refusing to go down until the absolute last second. You know, speaking of passion, now I was talking to Sixless in a little interview for, you know, PMPL coming up here soon, you know, and he said that he was bored, you know, and that he wanted to get some passion, so he joined PASSIONFRUIT Esports, Dave. I mean, that's on brand.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we're still going to be talking about passion here, Hot Jukes and Uneven, because I was talking to the team as well, and they said they're looking for some freeloads here tonight in the lobby. Woo! And I was like, what is a freeload? They said, Dave, it's a free kill. So they're going to be looking to just lay out here tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing what PASSIONFRUIT brings to the table here this evening.
Well, let's see where they stand on the leaderboard. It's currently sitting in 8th place. This is the total lobby score right now, and you can just look right there at the top. Luke first, ATON second, Intense Game third. I mean, now I'm looking all the way down. Okay, 5th place. We see an NA team. Uneven, right? Could this finally be the week that we see NA have a little bit of a comeback?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the point distribution, there isn't too big of a gap. I mean, 26 points, I think that is a decent amount, but it's absolutely doable on in a single day with a good performance, and most definitely doable for this team, I think.
Yeah,
I'm them. They're playing. They should still be playing to win. This is not at all like one of those moments where you say, oh, or kind of move on, or we're shooting for top 3. You can, one game and you're going to be in very close contention. If you win this first game to start off the day, you're going to be in very close contention point wise with Loops.
Gotta agree. Yeah, there's not a massive gap, especially like pretty much on that 6th place on up, right? It's still anyone's game here, Dave. And one team in particular, I always like to keep my eye on, a squad that we've seen have serious pop-off moments, right? And Hyper, right? They have been asleep at the wheel here. Everybody's been like, what is going on? You can see right here their season 3 average points. I mean, what do you think is going wrong with them? How do you think they're going to get it done here, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of chatting about this topic last week and just kind of watching their playstyle all around. I feel like they're just not up to speed with the other teams in the lobby that got introduced last season, like Loops, ATON, Intense Game. Maybe they're not all that familiar with their gameplay, their aggressive gameplay style here. So they're used to just, getting those free lows. I'm going to keep saying that with NA, but now we're not just looking at NA. So the different regions clashing together, kind of what Uneven was saying earlier on, and Hyper, they're just not keeping up with the pace here.
Yeah, and I think we've seen them, really struggle in those pressure moments. I got to talk to Boy a little bit earlier today, and he was kind of mentioning that was something that they had struggled with. But, now they're finally getting that synergy. They had a lot of experiences at that level in those moments. So hopefully we can see them finally be able to bring it out on top here, okay? Well, now that we're getting into week 3 and Hyper needs to put up a lot of points, NA in general does, besides, the team that was looking best poised to do that from North America, I think it's gotta be YKG and Even, right?
I mean, definitely, yeah. Points wise, it's a clear reflection that they're performing more consistently than any other team, and they're right on the precipice. Just to expand on what you're saying, there is a huge exponential gap when you go from a regional tournament to an international tournament at every step, right? Even if we're just adding South America, which doesn't seem like too much of an international event, you're still exponentially increasing with every level. It gets far, far harder because those bottom 8 teams that would normally be, basically free food, free kills for and Hyper back in NA, they aren't there in this tournament. Not only is the top heavier, but the bottom is heavier. You don't get as many free fights, and every level you climb up, it gets a lot harder. So I'm not surprised that they need to take a little time to adapt to this new level. It is a very big jump. It may not seem like it, but even just combining Americas is a significant jump in level and competition.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, especially those squads that like to go on that edge, right? Normally they can go and farm points like crazy, but the higher you go, every team is going to be hard to get. And if you got a great squad, or maybe even 2, gatekeeping you, you're going to get a whole bunch of points. So we've been talking a lot about teams. I think it's time we talk about players, right? Individual players, because here in the Titan series, the top player each week gets 5,000 UC in the bank. And you can see week 2 eliminations. Chief was on top here, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, that is 17 elims in only 4 games, so that's really impressive. We got a little boy from Influence Range right behind him. Remix from the Extreme Players in 3rd place. What I'm seeing is a lot of no NA players here, fellas. Like, is tonight the night that some North America players are going to show up here and really frag out? That's what I'm looking forward to.
Same here. I mean, I was talking to Sixless earlier, and he says that he is on top of his team, right? Most eliminations, most death, but not in the lobby. Okay? We need to see some of that action here, Uneven, right?
Yeah, honestly speaking, I don't think we're going to see any individuals shoot up like that. Any NA individuals. Listen, when you see those leaderboards and you see 9 Brazilian players or 9 South America players, it kind of shows the gap in mechanics that isn't going to be fixed over this last week, right? Nothing's going to have improved that drastically, but one thing that you can do is it is a team game, it is a rotation game, it's a strategy game, and there's infinite ways to win. And I'm going to be honest, the win condition for these NA teams isn't out shooting these guys. It's not going to happen. All right, you didn't learn anything in the last week. You got to play smarter, you got to play better, you got to play for those placement points and those clean, easy elimination points. And that's the strategy to win.
We got to straight up look at the numbers, right? I mean, look at that. Chief 17 eliminations, right?
Yeah,
in a good solid week. And you got Hyper with 22 points on the total so far, right? Yeah, so that is pretty wild. You know, we're getting into game one. You take a look. We're about to get into Arrogale. Let me get your predictions real quick. Start with you, Dave.
Zombie boys.
Oh, okay. Why not? Why not? Okay, all right. Uneven? Talk to me.
Listen, I'm a numbers guy. The numbers, I'll play it safe. I'm going to say loops, of course. Let's keep it going.
Hey, you know what? I got to go throw NA some love. YKG, come on, baby. Make it happen. If you want to go ahead and steal that trophy and get those most points going into the finals, I think you got to start off strong here in game number one. Right, Dave?
Yeah, feeling good, man. We got Loops, YKG, Zombie Boys, 3 teams to pay attention to here in game number one. I like what you're saying, Uneven. You're a numbers guy. Listen, I'm a who's got the most heart guy. Who's got the most drive guy? Who's got the hope? And it has to be Zombie Boys. Kind of going back to the different play styles here that you were touching on. Zombie Boys last season, very interesting play style. And we'll get to that because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Type in that code right now. UC giveaway. Get it while it's hot. But going back to the topic at hand, Zombie Boys last season, they thrived when they avoided the fight Uneven.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a very, very strategical game, and there's unlimited ways you can go about playing the game. And you just honestly speaking, you've got to know your strengths, you've got to know your weaknesses, and you play around it. There's, as I said, there's so many ways to look at this game and to like move around and to take certain strategies that you don't need to frag out and match these big players like Chief and so on. And realistically, you shouldn't be shooting for that. It's just like it's a numbers game. It's all about consistent points and play to your strengths. There's no need to copy and imitate, because you know what, imitations are always worse than the original. Like that's one of the key rules that we live by, right? Try to be unique, try to create and innovate, right? And that's how you'll win these tournaments against better teams.
Just being you and doing what you do best. I love that, man. Those are some really solid words there. And talking about solid, I like this new screen, by the way. I didn't see this last week. I like how we got the teams on the left-hand side with the screen and the map. This is looking beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's stream. If you're just tuning in, this is season 3, baby, of the premier qualifiers. You got Mustache Dave. You got Uneven dropping the knowledge here tonight. Man, hey, Uneven, thanks for being here, man. This is going to be one heck of a night here. What do you want to see? What does Uneven want to see here tonight?
So, I won't lie, I do want to see some NA performances, right? I'm still an NA player. And, just to elaborate on some strategies that I want to see executed, I want to see some really nice rotations around the map. I want to see people that aren't thinking about this one rotation that they're doing, but are thinking about the next ones that are come after, or even 3 circles ahead, because that's when you start seeing some really nice decision and some really nice movements and some really high IQ plays that push teams up above and can maybe bring NA back to their glory.
Yeah, and one team in particular that really needs to be thinking ahead has to be Hyper, just because, I'm not trying to beat this one with a stick, but they are one of the best teams when it comes to NA, and they're at the bottom right now of the leaderboards. 15th overall, not looking too good, and another strong contender from the region, YKG. Looks like they're going to be squaring up right now, up against Influence, possibly, out there in the distance. Fears are already knocked down on their knees here.
Yeah, it's a 3v3 here, though. We got the trade, or YKG got the trade, shall I say. Unfortunately, though, it looks like INF's going to have a free revive, whereas Fears is just knocking this. Oh, look at this. Instantly capitalization off their knock. They know they have the advantage. 2v1 here. This is a great aggressive move by INF.
Now, it's got to be in Primorsk, so let's see what 24K can do here with the B zone. Wait, like 2 players from INF are going to be on their knees. Possibly might be bursted here. But looks like Fear is going to be pulling back. The 24K looks like they're going to get the reset.
That was a huge play by Chico right there. Coming into support, we didn't see him on our screens, but he had a good angle. And he got the double knock right there, saving his team from the 2v1. That was a really nice play by Chico right there.
Yeah, look at the map. Looks like Chico is up there in the north here, kind of overlooking this fight. And now I believe they're aware of Chico's position. But like you said, YKG there, back up in it, on their toes now with the numbers advantage. This is a 4v2, essentially, here in Primorsk.
Yeah, huge double kill from Chico to save his teammates there. And now he's wrapping all the way around. Obviously, they're boxing him in. There'll be no escape. They're going to confirm these 2 elimination points, right? That's what Chico's trying to do right now. He's going off and closing all their potential escape angles while the rest of his team pushes a little bit closer to them.
Now, in your opinion, is Chico close enough just in case Chico does get knocked down that Chico does not get bursted? Or is this just Chico taking all the risk right here? Oh, that's a nice shot, by the way.
Yeah, that is a very nice shot with the AK-66 there. See, on the side of this hill, it's a little scary. He'd only have that tree. It would be fairly easily to thirst him to finish off the elimination. But, you know, he got the opening. I don't think they knew his position, so this is just going to be a nice cleanup. You got to be careful on those hillsides. It's important to not get caught in the wide open. You're right. Like, you can very easily throw a game that does not need to be thrown just by looking for those off angles.
Oof, looks like little boy's going to be back against the wall. Second story, looking to defend the stairway here with the M4, going for that pre-fire, swapping on over to the DP, getting surrounded by all angles right there, finally taken down and out. There goes YKG, 4 elims here to start the night. You'll love to see, and they didn't lose anybody in the process.
Yeah, honestly, that's an absolutely perfect start. You know, last week I was talking about how I don't like hot drops, but when it works out, it's quite rewarding because this is exactly the start they need to this day. You know, they are absolutely in contention for first place. They're starting off with a nice clean wipe on a very strong team that not only, you know, gets them those 4 extra points and all that loot, but that confidence that they need to build up, that momentum that I was also talking about last week. Momentum is huge, and right here, if they can carry it, a win to start off the day with a lot of elimination points, and suddenly they're right there for first place. They might even be first place if Loops would die early enough.
We're talking about momentum. Oh man, talking about momentum. Another team that might have been able to get some of that here, at least in game number 1. While that fight was going down, SLR wiped the floor with MEZEXIS. Now, MEZEXIS, they did take out one of the SLR members, but SLR, 4 points to start the night as well.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
it's a good start.
You like to see the points, but, you know, in my honest opinion, like, having that one member down is, for me, the way I value team play and, like, just overall game status, I don't take 4 kills for 1 death. Yeah, so we always played for the wins, right? We're here to get those eliminated. You know, our primary focus was the placement points, and then naturally, as you progress into the late game stages and you get those wins, the elimination points will stack up. And the most important part about securing a late game and securing a lot of kills in the late game is having 4 members up. It is super valuable when you're the only team with 4 members, and very difficult to close out games sometimes when you're lacking a member. So personally, that's why I hate hot drops. Even if you get 4 nice clean points, if you lose 1 member, I don't like it. I don't like the situation we're in. I find that to be an overall net negative. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, without a doubt. Does that opinion change, though, depending on at what part you're in the match? You know, because early game, of course, you lose 1. It's gonna hurt. But when you get towards that mid to late game, say you do lose 1, but you get those 4 points, like, does that sway you in any way?
Oh, most definitely, depending on the early game. I don't think there's much to gain off that, right? Other than the 4 points, that's all you're getting, right? But in the late game, if you can somehow secure some sort of position that's really valuable, that can totally change it. Even 2 players' lives can be worth to secure the correct position in the late game, like the nice high ground that's going to end up letting you clean up everything up and secure the win. If you got to sacrifice players to do that, there's definitely scenarios where it is more valuable to lose some players than not, right? For sure.
All right, well, getting into the match here, we are starting to see a nice little divide between the different play styles here. Got a couple teams that look to head into the center, get a good position early on.
Yeah.
while on the flip end, a lot of teams are just hovering around the outskirts, the zone, you know. We got XQ up there to the north. We got Ace over there, IG, SLR, YKG, Loops down here to the south, who just got a really solid zone going their way. So honestly, all those teams that did center up, they might actually clash here very shortly. And Hyper, they have some nice terrain that they're holding down right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is looking. Oh, sorry. This is looking pretty good for all the teams that are on the north side right now. I see that. I think it was Loops. Sorry, I missed it. I think it was Loops on the south side.
Yep.
There's always a chance that they get the hard shift and they get one of the easiest games of their lives and of unlimited elimination points when everybody tries to cross. But you know, it's a gamble. So they are going to take that gamble, right? They're committing to the south side. The problem here is that both the access to both bridge points is going to get cut off once this blue zone circles in, right? We can see that. And so, which leaves them with two options, right? Swimming across and being super exposed in their cross, or going into the blue zone, getting heavily damaged, and risking a completely blind rotation into some people that could be holding the bridge, which is a very common strategy, and easily cleaning them up. So this is a bit of a gamble from Loops right here.
You think they'll go for that gamble since they are in first place right now? They kind of have some room to work with. And what I mean by gamble is stay down in the south.
Yeah, it looks to me like they are taking that gamble. Yeah, they had two choices here. They could have crossed this circle and said, listen, it's like about a 20% chance it's going south. We're going to commit north. But they decided to. It looks to me like they're staying south. They took the gamble, which is a fair point. They are winning, and if it goes their way, they're going to be winning a whole lot harder. So
that's what you love to see. That's what you'll love to see. So Hyper setting up all kind of with their own little vantage point right here. IG looks like they're going to be pulling up, taking some shots as well. It's going to be C4 in the compound down below. Now C4, they were saying that they haven't really been performing all that well here in the Titan series because they've been traveling a lot, but they are feeling like themselves here a little more tonight, and that's what you'll love to see from the back-to-back champions here. As looks like they're still going to be 4 up down there below. IG
they are
looking right at them.
But honestly, I don't love their position. The problem with this compound, right, other than the obvious part that they're completely surrounded on the low ground between two big hills, is that their cars are completely exposed, right? There's that north angle, there's that south angle that are shooting at their tires. They might have one car left, if that. Probably not. So this is what I was thinking about. Taking that compound did let them survive this one rotation and this one circle, but they didn't really think ahead to the next one, unless this was their last option, which would be surprising in such an early stage. But now their next rotation is going to be pretty much done. Like, I don't see how they have any cars saved right here. Maybe
yeah, definitely
one.
Sandwiched for sure. I mean, you got Hyper to the east, you got YKG to the south, and then SLR. So there's a ton of teams that are all kind of hovering around their current position. Now they do get the next circle though, so they can kind of turtle up a little longer. But if the next zone does force them out, they're probably dead to rights, like you mentioned. And kind of going back to the Loop storyline, looks like they did cross the bridge, and just in time as well. Yes, the military base island still in play, but very risky if they decide to stay down there a lot longer. So they're going to be over here on the east side now.
Yeah, very risky, but I like their decision. I think statistically it's the more probable and consistent play to cross early. Thankfully nobody was holding those bridges, so they got a nice timing, and they should have a clean game. They should have a clean position here.
See what happens here. Looks like Execute looking to pull up, get a little nice little grenade knock potentially onto Ace of Spades now. It's like a little grenade battle happening all over the place. In the blue as well. Fate going to be connecting onto Kiddo. A nice grenade right there. But look at that. The return nade connecting onto Fate here. So it's just a mini red zone in this corner.
Yeah, these are very tough fights. The timer's on for both of these guys, right? They're in the blue zone. It's starting to tick. Not too badly, but still, they want to get on with it. They don't want to take a lot of times. Everybody wants to rotate, so this is always a tough situation.
Like Trick pulling up just in time to try to get the pickup over here. Lip with the DBS looking to pull up. Okay, they're going to be working together as a unit, as a team, looking to breach the first story here. UMP versus DBS. We know who wins that one. DBS slug. There goes one, but couldn't get the final one off right there as Casper connecting onto Lip, and Fate from outside pretty much sealing the deal. And there goes Ace of Spades.
That's about as good as you can hope from that. I think they're going to be able to 4-man get up. They pushed the tempo just at the right pace, so they weren't too slow, they weren't too fast. Nice cleanup right there for NA.
In the blue right now, so hopefully they'll be able to get some meds and heal up and use those vehicles to straight up send it. But looking at the zone now, a couple teams having some difficulties. One of them being Sixless, 1 HP. Oh, that last shot did hit the mark right there. Sixless going to be in the water swimming, calling for help right here.
That's the classic Sixless strategy. You see his team's all the way on the other side of the map. That's called the last resort, sending it across in his buggy. He does it a lot. Try to find that little sliver of somewhere he can hide in, prone in, and get those placement points while his team dies. That's what he's known for.
Those all the dips and divots for sure over here. Is Wancho from downtown, from outside. Also going to be spotted, tagged, and bagged. I'm still looking forward to PASSIONFRUIT. Talking to the team before tonight, they seem like they're in high spirits, and they're looking to take a lot of fights. And that's what I like to see, man. I like to see and hear that and read that. So with one game kind of not going in their direction here, their favor, and being the first game of the evening, I got to ask you, because you've been in the game multiple times, does that kind of play a factor on how the rest of the night goes?
It's hard to say because it really depends on individuals and their morals and the team's morale, not morals. I don't know what their chemistry looks like, but it could affect them greatly, or it could not at all. But look at this position from Hyper, by the way. This is a wonderful split they're holding right now. They're going to have a lot of kill opportunities.
One game at a time. Rin down there on the coastline, on the cliff tops, is going to be looking for some swimmers as well, just in case. But IG still showing up. IG, they've been just trying to third party. So many teams here in game number 1. Looks like they're finally going to be making the push onto this compound. Extreme Slayer is trying to hold it down right here. Robert GG hurting over here. Grady going to be swapping to the Scar with a beautiful spray down through the smokes uneven.
That was amazing. Holy. Wait. Oh, what a cleanup. That was a really nice fight from XS right there. That was a hard one to pull off cleanly. Oh, he got thirsted, unfortunately. The problem with this compound is it's one of those wide open garages, and basically everyone on that northeast side has just a wide open vantage point to shoot at them if they want, if they get out on those rocks up there.
Not only that, I believe Kindness is trying to toss a grenade through those wide open garage doors as well.
Yep.
Trying to also avoid getting shot from ATON down here. But looks like ATON are going to be concerned with now loops pulling up those rocks right to the north of them. So there's just a ton of teams just all trying to fight for some type of sliver right now in this circle.
Yeah, NHP have a really nice position, but they did lose a member, and that concerns me right now, because as I said, what I value most in these late game entries are having 4 people up. So I'm not loving the fact that they messed up their split somehow and someone got picked off, but it could still be winnable. They definitely have the best position in the zone right now. Really nice high ground.
Execute. Pulling up onto Black Mamba NA. Casper with the UMP, little jump shot action right there, just in time as well. Should be able to get the pickup on their squad mate as now Spotlight, grenade in hand, trying to defend their position, stop the push, and hopefully get a teammate up, but I don't see that happening right here on Even.
Yeah, this is a battle between 2 dead teams. I'm not gonna lie. Whoever wins this proceeds to get eliminated very quickly afterwards. This is just trying to secure those points. Both these teams have no entry into the zone. They're completely blocked off by who is that?
It's ATON and Zombie Boys. So both these teams are in the zone, and they're trying to really just third party this and get the additional kill point. And you know what? ATON even more thirstier than the Zombie Boys, because they got Bruno Zin actually in a vehicle looking for that reposition. But look at this, Execute! Oh no, Execute catching the tail end of that one. But ATON, we were talking about them. They were thirsty. They pulled out of their position, went a little bit into the blue, got the elims, and now they're strolling up into the late game with 9 total kills.
Yeah, I really like that move. They know they're comfortable in their spot. They know they can take the time to leave without being pressured. And so they take the chance and try to get some of those cleanup kills. They only got like 1 or 2, unfortunately, but if things had gone slightly differently, they could have picked up those eliminations on the guys that are already knocked. I like that play. It's It's aggressive, and it's gonna, you know, it's a good opportunity to get more kill points. And I like that play. It's confident.
Talking about confidence, Zombie Boys, open field, the Shack. I don't know how confident I am in them, but we got two really big fights happening on both sides of the zone right now, so we'll keep you posted on the kill feed, because we got C4 trying to gatekeep YKG, and then ATON up against Zombie Boys. Right now, We're going to be looking at YKG, looking to just reach their way into the zone ever so slowly. As 24K with a nice little spray down across the way.
Yeah, nice shots. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to convert on that unless they go right now. This would be a very difficult play to pull off, but I'm also surprised at how C4 lived. See how that's, I don't know how that solo got there, but he's in the water chilling. Oh, he's not in the water, he's on the land, surviving on that low ground.
Ooh!
Nice
Rin!
Shot.
Rin, man, with the scar. They knew they were over there too, so I mean, just a little extra thirst, but it looks like C4 finally take it down and out, so the smoke should be able to give them the time to get the pick up here. No sweat. And they're going to be showing up, not with 4, but with 3 in the late game.
Yeah, this is now converted into whatever team is playing in those barns now has the strongest position, in my opinion. And Hyper, actually, it depends on the circle. If it goes to the coast and Hyper, it's a hard game to finish up, to hold that coast as 3, and like, because you're going to be getting executed from all sides, but, oh, wait, this is an important fight right here.
Yeah, talking about getting executed, it looks like ATON trying to avoid the sight lines of Extreme Slayers, but at the same time trying to push up the Zombie Boys and Team Jaguar. So ATON, although they've been performing really well here tonight, I'm starting to get a little nervous based on their position.
This is very tricky. Yeah, look at this. They're basically in. Oh wow, that's a great trade to get right there on Koi across the map. But they're basically in the low ground, and everybody else is just staring at them, holding them in. They do have a nice spot in zone on this rock right here, which will grant them, you know, this circle. But I'm kind of scared if they don't get the next shift, it's going to be a very hard play to execute.
I'm looking, they have 2 buggies, but I believe that yellow one is missing some tires.
Not a whole lot of
tires. So
yeah, they're next
about saving those tires. What's the move in your play?
I mean, here you get hard shifted. It depends how hard the hard shift is, but you might have to crash that team that's on the low ground of the mountain. I think it's XS. Take them out and play for that. Hope the circle close. But if it goes far west, you're gonna have to do a full send it to the barns. Honestly, it's not great, but I don't see any other solution where you have a win condition off of that. Hopefully, this what is it? Jaguar?
Yeah, Jaguar.
This Jaguar team would make the first move and you third party. That's the ideal scenario, right? They're on the north side. If that circle shifts hard west, Jaguar would go and take those barns. Oh, we get a center circle. Okay.
Wow. And look at Joey. Somehow Joey managed to just sneak his way between and Hyper. And yeah, you know, if I'm not mistaken, is prone right now, just trying to survive a little longer. Kind of love the play because then Hyper can kind of be like the guardian angel almost for Joey and just make sure nobody crashes that position. Meanwhile, Joey big chillin', looking for that second place finish for those 6 additional points.
Yeah, he's going to be a big nuisance. There's a little divot right there, a little crest, kind of a hole that you can lay prone in, and you're hidden from the second floor of the barns as well. Right now, I think Jaguar have to take this barns fight right here, and AT7 have to take this XS fight. It looks like they're looking for the XS fight, though, which I wouldn't like because it would put them in the lower ground, whereas the barns is a win condition, right? If they get that nice cleanup, they'd be able to have a nice... But it looks like they're trying to third-party the XS fight. I don't love this
Jaguar showing up in the late game, 7 elims, 4 up, still looking healthy. They got some cover to work with for the time being. They've really been keeping ATON underneath their thumb. ATON now being forced to push out from behind that boulder. They got a couple smokes, but they've been taking so many shots that I have to imagine their armor, their meds, not looking ideal right now here on even.
0 left, and it's just as you said, that buggy was missing wheels and they weren't able to do anything. Oh no, they're going for the XS pull up here. I don't love this play here. Even if they win, they're going to be in the hard low ground. I think this is limiting their opportunities to win, but let's see how they play it.
Simple with a long shot grenade right there. Mercy trying to toss out some smokes to give their teammate the possibility of getting picked up. And there's only 2 members left for Extreme Slayers in the barn, like you were saying, trying to block their sight lines. But Team Jaguar looking to get the pinch on them here and take
Yeah.
up their position. Here comes Mercy in the front lines. DBS. Remix pulling back. Knocking the grenade. Both players looking to nade each other at the same exact time. Mercy tossing that one.
He just undercooked it, or overcooked. No, undercooked, I think. Unfortunately, that would have been a nice cleanup. He needs to kill this as fast as possible so he can reset that knock.
So surprised and Hyper really aren't trying to third party this
There we
one,
go.
but Mercy, Big
There we
Pack,
go. Oh, somebody
cleaning
else
up
reset the knock.
Extreme Slayers right there. Jaguar, still a 4-man team.
Yeah, but again, see, now they are making the push up to the high ground, but they are completely exposed to this north side team now. I think they're gonna get knocked by XCZ right now. See, this is what I don't love about taking the low ground. It's gonna be, they have to fight for this high ground push, while, in my opinion, being pretty exposed. But you know, they can pull it off.
Yeah, and we still got Joey. We were talking about how Joey can really be that nuisance here to end Hyper. Joey's been just big chilling in that tiny little dip,
Yeah.
and Hyper, they most likely have no clue Joey's been there this entire time. So Koi, no helmet, no vest, looking to toss some grenades, very long grenades behind this shack, and potentially get a knock here on Team Jaguar. Team Jaguar just looking to put the pieces together right now.
Yeah, I think if I was an Hyper, I would be playing this position more aggressive. I'd be trying to take control of this lip, because this is pretty valuable for Jaguar to have right now, and it's their only opening to push them. But at the same time, because they lost that fourth, it becomes a whole lot harder. This is exactly what I was talking about. If they had 4 people up in this situation, it would be much easier to control all this ground. Jaguar are, you know, they're playing it as well as you can from this position. They're taking that, they're not, just sitting there AFK in the low ground. They're going for the winning play. I'm surprised that SLR can't find any openings on them, can't find any way to maneuver around. But let's see what happens.
SLR have been just big chilling on the west side, just letting it ride out, letting all the other opponents pretty much fight each other out so they can show up looking pretty strong in the late game. Looks like one of their squad mates actually in a vehicle. Looks like they might be heading towards Joey. So I'm a little concerned what's going to happen over there. But Team Jaguar, like you said, still doing a really good job at just making sure not to overextend and overexpose themselves and just take free shots.
Yeah, for sure. They're in a really good position now because of their man advantage as well. Oh, Joey just got eliminated. Yeah, I think there wasn't enough room for the both of them in that hole.
Yeah.
Let's
In the chat for Joey, but you know what? 4th place, I'll take that. That's going to be 4 points going their way. Koi, looks like Koi was able to kind of sneak down the cliffside.
I think that might have been an accident. I'm not gonna lie. I think he slipped off the rock. It's pretty tricky to maneuver around those rocks, but I don't see any advantage to being down here. I like this move from Jaguar. They had a solo go off and control that north side, so now they're basically controlling a good 50% of the map. And no matter what happens next, they've got a nice entry or nice defense against both teams here. They're kind of squeezing them together, which honestly, they're playing this very well. I may have been wrong about the call. I think they executed this mistake perfectly to take that high ground control and this pressure around the map.
Yeah, it looks like all the teams as well kind of pumping the brakes just a little bit, trying to catch their breath, heal up, and really take a survey of the land here. Koi being downhill, even if they slip down there by accident, I feel like could really have like a backstab potential almost on Team Jaguar if Jaguar are confident that no one's behind them.
Yeah, the only problem is he's not in zone at all right now, so he's going to have to make a move, and if they hear those footsteps, he's done for. But if he can manage to get that right distance away and get a backstab, I agree. We could see a huge double kill, triple kill.
Yeah, here goes Rin. And Hyper, man, they are just falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, they just can't hold any of this ground. It is really difficult with their amount of members.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think this is going to be a free thirst here.
Uh-oh.
I think he has to take this opportunity.
Rin popping up. UMP lock and loaded.
I don't like him waiting. The zone's closing right here. What more could you hope for than another free elimination point, no? Okay. Chose to wait. He's going to try and sneak into this next zone, which I don't see how that's possible, but now I guess we have to see where this zone shift happens.
Yeah.
If it shifts onto SLR, is that their team?
SLR, yep,
Yeah,
out there on the west side. Uh-oh.
They have a great chance of winning this.
tagged up just a little bit right there. I mean, Jaguar, they have no clue that Koi is down there. They almost confirmed, right, that nobody's down there because Koi did not take any shots. So now they're fully confident that that area is clean. But like you said, Koi now going to be getting touched up by the blue. Now going to be forced to pull out. Like, could have gotten an easy elim, like you were saying moments ago, but instead decided to wait a little longer. And, well, it just didn't play out in their favor.
Yeah, sometimes it's a tough call, you know, in the heat of the moment. You have to weigh the odds. Can I get in? Can I get that? Because you have to remember that the jump from third place to second place is significant placement points. It's more than one elimination point, right? Oh, huge opening from SLR. Putting into a 3v3 for this last zone. And they do have center control, which means that basically it's up to Jaguar to make the move. And they're going to get touched by zone first, which is already moving. Oh, no, it's moving in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm looking at Mercy with the grenades, too, in the front line, looking to take out XZZ. But the thing is, I see 2 members from SLR just straight up pulling up in the buggy play, wraparound surprise attack. You got Mercy in the open field. Wasn't able to get a quick swap, but look at that pop of blue taking down Ying. So mistakes were made right there. I love the quick decision-making from SLR, the aggressive play at the end. But the blue zone playing spoiler and Team Jaguar getting winner chicken dinner here in game number 1 with a massive amount of elims as well. I'm talking 15 elims. Uneven 15 in game 1.
That is a humongous game. You know, they proved me wrong. That they executed that about as well as you can from that low ground position. SLR had a really great read on that late game. I like the push. I think that's absolutely the win condition. All he has to do is get that third knock that he had on that buggy right there, and boom, suddenly they win. They win the 3v4. It was as well played as they can, you know, based on the circle and based on what they had. Both teams played that very well. I'm impressed.
Let's bring Jukes back in as well, get his thoughts. But, I mean, SLR still hot Jukes. I mean, a second place, 9 elims. This team, they came into this match 12th place on the overall leaderboard. So although they kind of missed the chance there to get the win, still a really solid game to start the evening.
I'll be nice, and I'll say I agree. Because you know what? I think Uneven, I think you were thinking a little bit different than what you were saying, man. Because, I mean, him missing that shot on that buggy, I heard the, and I said the same thing. Because, man, if you would have hit that, I think you would have had time to get an off angle, and I think we could have seen them take that chicken dinner. But, I mean, Jaguar absolutely deserved that chicken dinner. Crazy amount of eliminations, so they really controlled that end game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is a disappointing last trade, but the way I view the game, you know, mechanical whiffs are going to happen, and I'd rather see a team execute the right, you know, make the right decision and play the late game the correct way and miss their shots than vice versa, right? So it happens. I'm not going to pretend like I always hit my shots, right? Sometimes you're going to whiff, but they played it correctly. I wouldn't be too upset if I was in, although I would probably play some TDMs.
That's a good point, though, right? You know, it's better to go ahead and just miss a shot rather than make the wrong play completely, right?
Absolutely.
And, yeah, you know, speaking of wrong plays, Dave.
Yeah, what's up?
Boy, at the bottom of the hill, how do you feel about that? How do you really feel about that?
How do I really feel about that? I mean, I definitely agree with Uneven that Koi had like the opportunity, the window to get the nice little 1v1 sneak attack and possibly get an additional elim point going their way, right? But Koi dropping down there, slipping and sliding. It hurts, Hot Jukes. I'm not gonna lie. It hurts. And talking about hurts, kindness, laying there, getting ran over by XEZ. I mean, that's a roadkill.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one more time. Onion getting beat up real hard, down to 1 HP. And Papa Blue just took care of him. And then at the end of the day, that DBS and the CQC is where it's at. 15 eliminations, 2,700 damage. I mean, if you're Team Jaguar, you got to definitely be pumped up right now, right, Dave?
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. I mean, they came into this game 9th place. Looking at their elims, they had 27 in total. And that's in total. In this one game, 15. So they're going to be shooting up this overall leaderboard without a doubt, Hot Jukes.
Yes, sir. They are indeed uneven, right? We finally saw a little bit of life from Hyper, but what are you going to do when you see Mercy all just on top of the leaderboards?
You know, I mean, this was we did see some life, as in I liked the way they were moving, but they got a lot of zones, they had the strongest position, and they really let it down, in my opinion. I don't know how they're giving up some of these knocks that they're giving, but I think I would not be happy with that performance if I was some of the N-Hyper members. You can't be giving up those free picks. That's basic things. You got to always be aware of your angles. And it happens sometimes, and sometimes it'll cost the wins just like now. But I think that was their game to win, and it didn't win it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's pretty odd because, what was that, Dave? Go ahead.
Real quick. Yeah. N-Hyper, 1,600 damage that game. Only one elim point. So, yeah. That cook right there.
Crazy stat right there. I mean, that means that their turnover, it was just at an all-time low. And it's crazy because normally when N-Hyper, they get that position, right, and the play is obvious. They've shown to be unstoppable multiple times before, right? But yeah, this time around, they just couldn't seem to really just hit the mark, I know they made some changes. I know Koi was focusing on PEL for a little bit. Now he's back, but hopefully we could see them turn it around here. Still a lot better performance than we've seen so far in the Titan series this season, huh?
For sure. And the macro was good. Their split was strong, but those little details that are so crucial, I really don't like seeing those happen, right? We gotta clean up. Oh, YT7 shooting up ahead into first place. Look at that.
Look at that. ATON Esports now in the lead by 1 extra point. Loop still at second. They're gonna want to get a little hungry, but we're starting to see a little bit of gap here between second and third, Dave.
Yeah, it's starting to definitely widen up right there. YKG trying to play catch up. They definitely have the best chance when it comes to a North America team. Influence Rage right behind them. YKG, we talk about momentum here a lot in the Titan series. 5 elims here in game number 1. I'll take that, Hot Jukes. I think they got the momentum they wanted in game number 1.
Let's go. And Extreme Slayers. Very nice. Okay. We got another game coming up right around the corner here on Even. So when it comes to, I just kind of want to harp on N-Hyper just a little bit more, right? Because them losing a position like that, I think is going to definitely hurt their morale overall, right? What do you think they really need to do differently going into this next game?
Yeah, those are definitely some of the worst games to win, or to lose, rather. When you had that win in your pocket, and it's those minute mistakes like, oh, I left my buggy tire exposed and I couldn't rotate, or I got knocked and thirsted when we had great control. Those are really hard hits to the morale. But, as with every single game in tournament, you forget this game, you play the next game. It doesn't matter. Right? That's how you have to do it. You have to reset completely. You have to play for the consistency. Their tournament's not over, and their morale shouldn't be done. It's easier said than done, but that's how they should be going at it, focusing next game.
And the reason why I want to say this one more time is because remember, guys, this is the qualifiers. Okay, come finals, teams are hunting for those bonus points right now. But those bonus points aren't a saving grace. We could still see a team that didn't hardly get any win, or where we saw like Zombie Boys, right? Second place out of nowhere, and well, the Zombie Boys are they warming up here for the finals, Dave? Are they putting the good old okie doke on us? What's happening?
Listen, as long as the Zombie Boys qualify, that's all I care about. All right, because we know if they qualify, they're guaranteed top 3 finish, guaranteed, because everybody underestimates the team. And for some reason, the zones just keep favoring them in finals, and they keep just racking up replacement points. So Zombie Boys, baby steps, baby zombie steps. Make it to the qualifiers, make it through the qualifiers to the finals. That's all you need to do here today. That's it. Focus on the little things you can improve on, and make sure to just seal the deal.
Seal the deal, baby. We're headed into Miramar, going to the desert here the next game. And like we said earlier on Even about, avoiding these hot drops, about how big it is just on your overall gameplay, right? Yeah, you may win the fight, but you'll lose a couple players and just get, sacrificed like crazy. Do you think is it possible we'll see a hot drop here in this Miramar match?
I think it's possible. I think it's impossible not to see one. Listen, which is a bit strange to me because I think Miramar, for a few reasons, is the worst place to hot drop. It's the biggest map. You can go loot anywhere. Just leave. Okay, but some people are stubborn. But also the way the cities are built, and just every major city has the most awful RNG, uncontrollable fights. I don't like things that are out of my control. I need to have every factor as limited as possible. And when you're hot dropping Picado, when you're hot dropping El Pozo, and there's 10,000 different windows and angles, there is no control. So you're just flipping a coin. and it's gonna punish you in the long run, right? Miramar, don't hot drop, but we're gonna see some hot drops, maybe 3.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Let's see if we do so. You know what? And I kind of want to hear from your experience, right? You know, we see some teams where they go into different maps. They almost have like a little bit of a gentleman's agreement, right? Like, all right, we're gonna go here, you're gonna go there. Do you mind like kind of diving deep a little bit on like kind of how that happens?
Yeah, so for international tournaments, which is where it's most relevant, right? Because you don't, within each other's regions over time, we all kind of solidify in our spots and we all know each other. So it kind of works itself out over time. But in international tournaments where there's a lot of overlap, typically how we like to do it, is there's 2 to 3 practice games and scrimmage games always, and you run those games. And the way our team did it is if we're winning those, usually the other team left, and like whoever wins, the majority of those practice games kind of gets to claim it. If we lost, we always respected that and we always left. I remember one example was Paradise Sandhawk in the first global tournament. We ran into Team Unique, some big angry Russian men, and they laid us out. I'm gonna be honest, and we said, you know what, Sandhawk, we only had 1 practice game, we had 1 shot. They've clean wiped us, and we left. We took I don't know what after. We went on the west side of the map, and we did, it worked out. It's not that big of a deal, guys. I hate hot drops. I'm going to keep ranting about how we should never hot drop. But
take the money and run, Dave. How do you feel about that, huh, Dave?
I agree. I agree with
tail,
it
bro?
completely. The thing is, I don't think anybody's actually going to take that advice because everyone is just stubborn. You know what I'm saying? El Pozo is my town. That's what they say. I mean, Hot Jukes knows what I'm talking about. We've seen teams hot drop multiple times. They lose every single fight. But here comes the next game. Hot drop in once again. I have no idea why they do this. I love your advice. I just hope more people would take it.
Yeah. Well, let's see if they're going to take it or if they're not. I mean, heck, finals are right around the corner. I mean, but you're right, though. Finals is right around the corner, so maybe they're trying to battle and claim that spot. As we go into Miramar, Dave Uneven, take it away.
Game number 2, hot drops. Are they going to happen? Put your predictions in the chat right now. Let us know. Put a Y for yes and no for no here. Uneven, make sure you get those UC codes right there on the flyby. But Uneven, game number 2. Tell me how you feel, man.
Well, I mean, game number 2, Miramar. It's a very exciting map. Personally, I think one of the hardest maps, because how do I put this? All the good teams are very good at Miramar. It's kind of like mechanics are really crucial, and so when a team just has a better team fight, there's a lot of ways to take team fights. There's a lot of ridges in this map. There's a lot of, like, as we're seeing now, look at all those like lumps and in TPP that you can take advantage of. There's so many ways to take team fights, and really good teams kind of show their difference most drastically on this map, in my opinion. So I think it's a really fun map because it kind of shows the best team fights out of all 4 maps, in my opinions.
So if all the good teams are really good on Miramar, are all the bad teams really bad on Miramar then?
Yes, you get exposed for your rotations and your team fights on this map more than any other, I think. Erangel is played so much, and it's kind of like we kind of have set things that people all know already, if that makes sense, and execute. So everybody kind of plays at a more similar level on Erangel, but Miramar, in my memory, every time I've come up against better teams, it's Miramar where it's sunk in about like the range of like the level of difference, right? When you get a team fight and they put these pressures on you, come from all sorts of angles, and they're doing their crouch peeks, and their mechanics it really shines on this map. So I think worse teams tend to do worse. They tend to rotate very poorly on this map, and they tend to fight very poorly. And I guess we'll
I like that. The cracks definitely show a lot more on this map, depending on your skill set. So I mean, that's a great way of putting it. And real quick, I saw someone in the chat. They want to know if the Zombie Boys get a winner chicken dinner here tonight, will Uneven play that guitar in the background? We got to give the people what they want, man. I think that's fair. Zombie Boys getting a win. Can we get that musical performance or what?
I don't know if that's in the rundown script for tonight's show, but maybe who knows? I'll pick it up. I got a couple songs.
Maybe. Okay. Looking forward to hearing that. So MEZEXIS, they were the team to get taken out first the last game. We can see them down there in the south, pretty much the only team down there. So they have a ton of room to really work with and try to figure out what they want to do here this game. But SLR, Team Jaguar, we got the rematch from the top two teams in game number 1 here. Hot dropping each other. This is what I signed up for in the Titan series.
Yeah, El Pozo hot drops is amongst one of the worst possible hot drops. Oh, wow, that was a really nice trade. I'm not gonna lie. You can get this one too. Oh, I don't know how they were making that cross, but
I know they are feeling it. Yes, Simple did get knocked out, but is in the smoke, so we might be able to get the pickup. But regardless, I mean, we talk about momentum. I'm going to chuck it up to Jaguar. They got that momentum after their amazing game 1 performance with 15 elims.
Oh, yeah.
And they just feel unstoppable right now.
I would absolutely, you're 100% correct on that. I would never hot drop a team that's fresh off a win. Those guys are going to make the aggressive moves. They're not going to overthink. They're not going to, like doubt themselves. They're going to come in, they're going to take the fights, and they're going to hit their shots. And, the thing about El Pozo is, it is a humongous city. You guys can both loot. 2 teams can easily loot El Pozo. In fact, I did it for a lot of my career in NA. We shared it. In international tournaments, we shared it. One team gets the west side, the other team gets the east side. Gentleman's agreement. We both get loot, we both get our cars, and we rotate happy. But this is not a happy ending for SLR. I think they're trying to back away right now, realizing, listen, we should not have poked the beehive that is Jaguar fresh off their win right now. It is not a good idea.
Only that, right there, nice little shot. Okay, Reba is going to be taken down on their knees up there on the 3rd story with the AKM. But Zombie Boys, I know I talk about them a lot. They're in the area, so we'll pay close attention to see if they end up third party in that fight in El Pozo. But Robert, GG, UMP in hand with the squad mate, looking to get a free low right here if they can hit these shots.
I like the way he's moving right now. I want him to take the fight.
Ooh!
Huge shot.
A quick turnaround right there. So Remix was connected on, but Remix has the support from their teammates. This is going to be Extreme Slayers looking to clean up. Influence right now. Influence, if I'm not mistaken, also got taken out pretty early in game number 1. But the rivalry right now between the 2 teams, I mean, almost every game, these 2 squads are just tooth and nail fighting each other. And looks like Influence were taken out right there.
And I'm not going to lie. Robert right there had the opportunity to push his aggression and take that 1v1 fast to save that 4th member that was knocked down. But he didn't take it. He hesitated. He was a little bit too scared. And he got his teammate thirsted. And after the fact, just ended up taking the 1v1 anyways. So I don't like that decision making. There's 2 schools of thought that you're going to do in that situation. Your teammate's knocked. It's a 1v1. You either take that 1v1, take the risk, and go for that have 4-man up, which is, as you know, I value a lot, right, as we talked about. Or you totally wait, you give up your teammate's life, right? You let them get eliminated, and you wait for your teammates to come support you, and then hit the 2v1, secure the kill, the elimination on that 2v1. But he did neither. He let his teammate get thirsted, and then went in and took the 1v1 anyway, so I don't love that. I wish he would have gotten faster. He obviously won it. He had it in him. I think he hesitated a little too much, and it cost their 4-man up, and now they're 3-man. They do have a nice 4 points to console them.
And you know what? What that kind of sounds like to me is Remix was a nice little tasty snack, a little bait right there. Let them bait it out, and then right when your opponent takes the bait, pop the trap. And I feel like that's kind of what happened right there with that easy limb. Here comes the bait himself, Remix, pulling up with a little jump shot, bump and dump action here. So Remix was putting in some work over here.
Yeah.
Like you said, Robert, GG, just letting Remix burn the dust right
Yeah, those were some really nice shots. That was, that gun is pretty hard to use. And he had some nice movement. He had some nice aim right there. That was quite impressive.
There you go. Some respect points from the man himself.
Yep.
Loops. Got them respect points. Loops out here taking some shots. Now Loops, they might be a little big mad after losing their first place spot on the overall leaderboards. but they're really close to ATON. So they're going to be taking some shots over there onto Hyper, a team that had a massive amount of damage in game number 1. They just weren't able to confirm, you know, turn those damage numbers into actual points, unfortunately. So they are looking for some vengeance here in this map, if I had to guess. And what I'm talking about is they're looking for some kill points here.
Yeah, you know, it does tend to happen when you're in center map high ground, like that position they had in the previous game. You know, you have views on a lot of things, but you're very far away, and people are usually pretty safe. So you're racking up a lot of damage, but it's kind of hard to get to, you know, pick up those elimination points. So it's understandable. I wouldn't blame that on any bad play.
It must be frustrating, though.
It is frustrating, but at the same time, you know, normally you're taking that exchange for a secured win or a very high placement point, which they did get good placement points, but would have felt a whole lot better if they got that first place, you know, to like, yeah, we didn't get too many kills, but we got that free win because of our position. That's what should have happened, but unfortunately they messed it up a little bit.
I feel like that's been the story of just Hyper this season altogether for whatever reason.
Yeah, you know, it does tend to kind of repeat itself. You know, I think it kind of plays down to momentum, right? You start making those small mistakes, it costs you a game like that. As I said, those are the worst games and the hardest to get over. The one you knew you had the win, you knew it wasn't difficult, and you know that whatever happened, like however that person got knocked and gave that opening and became 3-man, and so they controlled less ground, you know, that butterfly effect all came from a tiny mistake probably, where he wasn't paying attention to his angles and he got thirsted in the wide open when he didn't need to be. Those are really hard to get over. And then it kind of like, you know, if you can't reset fully, which is way easier said than done, it'll just start leaking into your other matches. You're going to keep making those small mistakes and, you know, so on and so on. It happens very frequently, especially when the pressure's on.
Yeah, the whole mental aspect, right, of PUBG Mobile, you know, a lot of times we talk about, oh, hitting the shots, insane play, but, you know, there's a lot that goes into just being one of these top-tier teams. Absolutely. That kind of gets overlooked here sometimes. So I love where you're going with that. As Hyper now on the retreat, as it looks like Loop's trying to just chase them down, essentially, as they fight their way into the zone. And there goes one player from Hyper. Koi taken out, and I believe that Buggy missing some tires. GK first also caught open. Thirsty now ran in the bus.
I don't know how much information Hyper had about what was going on around them, but running away like that and kind of like they were being like cat and mouse chased for a while there, and they're not holding up, taking the fight. I don't know how I like that. If they were aware of what Loops was doing, I feel like you just take the fight right there. I think that shows a lack of confidence, and it's understandable after the last game. I think this is a perfect example of momentum impacting their mental, impacting their decisions, because they were just running away from Loops the whole time and ended up getting caught the wide open instead of just, you know, taking a nice 50-50 fight. In fact, Loops was pushing them, so in TPP, it's always slightly skewed towards the defender, right? If you're playing correctly. So, I think that's exactly what we were talking about. I think they didn't properly reset before this game, and they just made the wrong decision right there.
So the duo did pull back to safety for the time being. We'll keep up with that storyline as now Ace of Spades might be heading in their direction. But the back-to-back champs right here, C4, we were talking about them in game number 1, finally feeling a little better after some recent traveling here. We didn't really see what transpired with them in game number 1. We were looking at them, we were chatting about them. I know they got one elim, but then after that, I think we were talking about how they were kind of stuck in that compound. And I think that's what did them in there. This game around, they're kind of looking for kind of the same play style. You know, they got a compound at the bottom of the hill, kind of all just piling in it, holding it down. But I feel like they get stuck in these situations a lot of times.
Yeah, it's a very, very common thing, and it's one of the biggest differing factors from from a really good team and a not so good team. Is that when you're looking at these circles, they're thinking about just the circle they're in, and they're not thinking about the next 2, the next 3, the next 4. Really good teams are thinking so far ahead. This position is going to allow easy rotations to this one, to this one. We're going to keep our cars. They just didn't do that thought process last game.
Yeah, so we'll pay attention to that because Vitex with the M249, my dude from Team Jaguar, just straight up rushing across the hilltop. Chico from way downtown on the high ground trying to support their squad mates as best as they could from this position. On Team Jaguar, we're talking about confidence. We're talking about momentum. We saw them on the hot drop in El Pozo. They're still looking to get into some fights over here. Now Fear is going to be tossing a grenade, trying to put a stop to the push. Might be able to do just that because now Simple, I'm mistaken, might be the last one alive from Team Jaguar.
Yeah, this was a pretty evenly matched fight between these two teams. I think both teams played it fairly well. Looks like YKG's going to have a nice cleanup, but I like this aggression from YKG. You know, they're showing that they know first place is there, and they know the way to get first place is not to play scared and play for, you know, they need eliminations. They truly do if they want to secure that first place, so they're going for it. They're playing exactly how they should be.
That should be a Simple. Should be down and out. Yep. 4 points going over to YKG. They're going to be making their way into the zone in the north side of things and popping back over here to C4. Looks like they're finally going to be peeking their heads out of their hard cover.
Yeah.
The hilltop says now IG kind of getting a nice little wraparound on the squad down below.
Oh, wow. Those were beautiful crouch peaks. That's exactly what I was talking about. Oh, and again. See, now, like, this was just brilliantly played from Adrian right here. Oh, no, don't choke it at the end. Oh, no.
There's going to be Bond right there trying to get a thirst. And I'm looking at IG. Diego, where are we at? My man now going to
Really
be pulling
far
up with the DBS. But, yeah, I mean, just not really gassing it to make their Adrian in time to get that much needed support when Adrian needed it.
I'm not gonna lie though, that is on Adrian. He did overheat. Now, I would have done the exact same thing. He did a really nice trade. His mechanics were on point. He was hitting his shots, and for that last 1v1, he decided to take it. He peeked over the hill, out of this, you know, so the enemy player is downhill. Therefore, his teammate can't support him. He took that 1v1. He said, "Listen, I got the first one. I'm gonna get the second," and it didn't work out. That was on Adrian. He took the one and he lost it, and that happens sometimes. But his teammate had no line of sight on that, unfortunately.
I feel like, you know, I agree with that, but then I also see the scenario where Adrian gets taken out, and Adrian's like, "Where were you guys?" You know,
absolutely.
So many times. It's like, bro, you were out there just, you know, beast mode. What are you talking about? Because they were in vehicles, you know, so they were trying to close the gap.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's always like that.
It's always like that. When you overheat, their first reaction is,
Where were you?
I got two.
Yeah,
That's a common mistake. But listen, if you wanted to play that safe and you wanted to play with your teammates, you had to do that. He did not choose to do that.
Look at that.
But it's totally understandable, man. Go for the highlight. You know, I don't blame him. If he hits that third kill, I go straight to Twitter afterwards. So, you know, you got to go for it.
For sure. And I mean, they're pretty comfortable here so far in this game. So, IG, looking at them on the overall leaderboards, I mean, they're what? Got some room for improvement, but yeah, like you said, it happens. Black Mamba going to be pulling up onto Passionfruit. Bishop getting some runovers right there, but Sixless clocking in, putting in some work, and Sixless right there, showing up. 3 limbs.
Wow. I mean, as much as I would love to praise Sixless, I can't help but think those were just some missed DBS shots, 3 in a row. You do not like to see that. That was an unfortunate CQC.
I saw them slugs just passing his head.
Yeah.
Sixless, does Sixless pick up Wancho?
No, he is leaving him for the blue zone.
So let me ask you, did Sixless have enough time to pick up Wancho there?
I think it's definitely possible. We're at stage 4, so it does kind of start ticking. And also, I think he may have been able to get rezzed. Well, it depends on the zone settings. I don't know the exact settings for this one.
Yeah.
Circle damage and circle speed was really impactful. Yeah, those were really nice. That was wonderful. And then he goes and does half HP and then whiffs every CQC shot. This was a great play out the bill here.
Oof.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. All right.
But yeah, it's difficult to say without knowing how much it hurts. But But from what I saw, it could be possible. It looks like this zone is moving very slowly, so I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was possible.
So I guess
But
next time
Sixless is not that
Wancho,
kind of guy.
yeah, I guess next time Wancho should be a little nicer. Sixless is what I'm saying, to get the pickup. So looks like Sixless, their position might be compromised actually. Wow, talking about the angles right here. ATON Milos,
Yeah,
the
this
clock
is.
tower.
He won't actually be able to hit Sixless, but he is able to see it. That's one of the things about Miramar. Sometimes there's some textures that you can see through that you can't actually shoot through. So he's got the information about Sixless, but Sixless is nice and safe in a dip. He's very good at knowing and controlling angles and snaking into zone. You know, that is what he was known for back in the day, as well as leaving his teammates to die, just like he did this game. You know, he hasn't changed a bit.
All right. You'll have to see it. So Sixless looking to acquire some more points for Passion Fruits here already for Elims here. You'll love to see it as now we're getting towards that mid game. 10 teams to go. ATON got a nice little 2-2 split going on right now, trying to hold down some angles. Execute up there in the north. I mean, I'm starting to see the map. Things might slow down just a little bit here, at least until we see where this next circle takes us.
Yeah, I really like this AT7 split. They leave themselves a lot of control over this east side right there. So see, now they have a nice clean entrance. If they just decide to hold this, and loops wrap up or excess wrap down, they've got a lot of maneuverability. Oh, they're choosing to close the gap immediately, which, you know, I don't love. Now they are a little bit more exposed from behind. I would have liked if they kept it until the zone started closing, but
yeah,
because see if loops comes up right now, which they might do, it could be a bit of a problem. But we'll see what happens. Might have no effect.
I think Loops might be investigating Sixless over here. Yes, they are. Mythic going to be popping up with a UMP, connecting the shots onto Sixless, but not before Sixless put in a lot of damage right there onto Mythic. So yeah, it seems like everybody just had Sixless's number here this map and knew of his whereabouts.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think he was exposed by those textures. So they had all that information they needed to go and get that free point. Now let's see what Loops does. I think there's a decent chance they go and fight AT7. But we'll see if them closing up their split was a mistake or not shortly.
Beautiful grenade right there, by the way, on the Frady, who caught it pretty much like a glove. IG. Gonna get some more points. Now it's up to Robert. GG. Is Robert going to use Frady as some baits once again, like we saw them use Remix in the early game?
Yeah, but as you said, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. Everybody found their spot, nice and tidy, except for Loops, who are still looking to come in. But in Chumacero, there's a lot of spots to play around, so you know we're at a bit of a lull right now for sure. But I think the next circle is gonna get hectic. There's a lot of players left right now. I think 40 players left, 38 players.
Yeah, and then we also have a couple solos. We got one from YKG. We're about to have one for Extreme Slayer, so they can already, or they can always kind of, you know, play that spoiler or that sneak attack potential there. So SLR, I'm looking at them, so I'm looking for fights here. All right, SLR, they're close to execute. We might see them clash here, possibly. Is this the remix or
SLR? Is that on the north side? Yeah, that is.
Yeah, north. Yep.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to clash for the next. Wow.
What a nade.
That bounced off the windowsill.
That's geometry right there. My dude has it down.
Trigonometry, yeah.
Got the math down.
Yeah, I want to see this fight. SLR definitely have an advantageous position here. They got the nice high ground. Execute are both in the zone and in the wide open.
Dude, you called it. Loops actually sent two right up behind ATON. And unfortunately, they were caught out there in the open and taken out before they were able to make the breach. But
yeah, ATON managed to hold it. They did have a man advantage on Loops, which does help for the crash. So yeah, well played for them. I think Loops went a little too late in my opinion, but it was the most natural progression from their position, right? See what SLR. I really want SLR to. Oh no, that's bad.
Yep.
That is a huge very critical position to give up right now. Now their whole positioning falls apart.
Good luck. It's Fate looking to pull up here. quickly hitting that retreat real quick to maybe get a heal, maybe get some support from their squad mates as Casper looking to make their reach into the zone and pretty much get an alternate angle. But XZZ popping up with the last minute play right there.
Yeah, well, super well played from Execute, getting that nice opening. Not sure. I think he was playing on a tree, which I don't like. All he had to do was hold that high ground, and SLR were sitting pretty, in my opinion. But they got outplayed. Well played. That was, you know, well played to Execute, hitting some nice shots to get those openings. Now they got a free reign over the north side. Their game is looking much better now. They're looking like a strong contender to win, depending on where the zones go. Of course.
Guess what? They're doing what you love most, and that's having 4 up, showing up that late game. So they're going to be looking really good there. ATON also with 4 up, and then MEZEXIS, the team that dropped all the way in the south, still going to be 4 up, feeling healthy. I don't even know if they taking a shot. Okay, MEZEXIS actually have 3 elims, so they have been getting involved here and there. But
MEZEXIS,
what are you seeing here?
They're in a nice high ground position. I think if the zone comes south, they've got the easiest game. But if the zone goes anywhere else, I'm comparing the 3 teams that have 4 up right now, who are the highest likelihood, who have the highest likelihood to win, which is Execute in the north, AT7 in the east, and then MEZEXIS in the south. I think they have the hardest time with any other circle. Getting off that mountain is pretty difficult. You got a lot of eyes on you. So MEZEXIS kind of have like a double-edged sword of a position here. They could have the best one. They could also have the worst one out of the top 3 contenders right now.
MEZEXIS, they desperately need this winner we're chicken dinner, because they are in dead last, 16th place with a total of 23 points all together, and 10 of those being from placement points. This Robert GG, dude's got the moves out there. The moves from Robert. Still alive.
Well, that is impressive, I guess, from Robert. I would have liked to see a couple more shots hitting there. But MEZEXIS, if they get this south, if this zone gets south and they're still in it, and like they have an easy game, so there are a lot of buildings, so I don't know how many elimination points they're gonna get, but they're definitely gonna get some very nice placement points. If it goes south, if it goes anywhere else, I think it could prove quite challenging. Executor chilling on this north side right now.
Yeah, a lot of chilling going on right now. So MEZEXIS, fingers crossed. Trick out here from Execute, trying to take some long-range M4 shots, just, you know, poking the bear, I guess you could say. 24K from YKG. The solo still going to be alive. A little bit to the west of Ace of Spades. ATON still holding it down as well. So next circle, let's see, MEZEXIS, will you get some luck here tonight?
Oh, no, they will not at all. This is going to be quite the challenging entry. I think AT7 are going to be holding them back wherever they try to come in. I can't see them going in like through the center. I see them wrapping the east side and running straight into AT7. That's the play that I would go for. But
Robert, just out there in the open.
I think AT7 are gonna. That being said, this split I don't like as much.
2 split.
Because right here there is no supporting. Whichever building gets crashed, which MEZEXIS looks like they're going for that right one with Bruno's in. There's not much support gonna come from the other 2 teammates. This could be they could take advantage of this and take care of these 2 people and steal their position. I don't love this split.
ATON was trying to toss out a little smoke tunnel. I heard some vehicles getting revved up in the back lines, but taking some shots in the process, definitely slowing down that momentum, because it forced them to, instead of make the push, have to heal up. So now they're going to be taking a little bit of blue zone. Those smokes are already dissipated.
Wow.
Their surprise attack no longer on the table, as they're just going to be straight up sending it in. The buses now on the wall here. And I believe only one more MEZEXIS member, Everest, is alive, was able to make it in the smokes, trying to hit the heel, but they got shredded by the ATON split right here.
No, they were not aware of this split at all. And I mean, ATON hit some really nice car shots. Getting double knocked is really unfortunate. Oh, easy cleanup. Wow. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they just trusted in those car shots shots. I would not be that trusty in my aim. But you see how, you know, they did get the opening, and if it is a dangerous position, right? Like, they could have gotten, all they needed was one more knock, and then
they would have had it.
MEZEXIS would have had it.
Yep.
But, you know, they did it, and they held on to it, and they hit all their shots out of the car. Oh, but looks like 87 Brunosen got thirsted right there. Broke the golden rule of not having 4 into the late game. How did that happen? He was in the other building.
Let me ask you, is that what the kids call a freelo, though, right there? ATON and MEZEXIS?
That was free. Yeah, that was freelo. They just farmed that rotation very hard. Now it's looking like an easy execute cleanup. I don't see a scenario where they don't win this. Ace are going to be caught up in this building. Even if the circle ends on Ace, everybody's going to condense there, and execute have the nice, easy, you know, they see everything. They got all their information. They can choose their third timings perfectly. I think we're going to see an execute cleanup, but PUBG, anybody can win.
True, yes, very true.
PUBG.
Comes down to hitting them shots, the team calms, and
you can't mess up.
Yeah, can't mess up. I've been really impressed in the last 2 games with YKG's ability to just have a solo continue to survive and get some placement points as well. Game 1, that was Joey. Game 2, YKG. So, I mean, we're talking about consistent points back to back. Yeah, it might not have worked for the whole team to show up in the late game, but we'll get to that because ATON, they are making the push onto Ace of Spades. We got some Molotovs. We got some grenades. We got some smokes. We got the whole arsenal getting unloaded right now onto Ace of Spades on that second story.
I think Chuko or Choco just naded just the wrong window. He had him. He had it perfectly cooked. That guy was sitting there waiting to get naded, and he hit the wrong window. That's unfortunate. That would have been a really nice opening right there.
And it's Fate. It's Fate is down here in the front lines with their teammates on the hilltops. I mean, it's Fate is looking to get some kills on the board. Going for that spray down through the smokes with the M4. Whiffing a couple. Tossing the Molotov. That should have a nice little spread. But now ATON, they got Fate's number. All right, they're looking to cook some grenades and toss them in his direction.
If Fate doesn't overextend himself right there, he's all he has to do is stay alive and stay a nuisance. This was exactly what they needed to do. They picked their third party timing perfectly. As soon as AT7 made that move, boom, you see Execute making that move on the other end and taking the ground. Oh, this is
load up, boys! Oh, another vehicle explosion happening out here. But the trades, this is all out mayhem.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is a tragedy. All they had to do was hit that rotation and they win the game. That is poor car management right there. I don't think that should have blown up. I think that car was most definitely already damaged.
Somehow Ace of Spades are still alive too. I mean, how many grenades and Molotovs and smokes had to get tossed into that second story compound they were holding down, not only from ATON, but also Execute. As now Execute gonna pulling up here. It's Fate finally taking the position they've been fighting for the longest here. But Ace of Spades just dead center.
The most important part of the last circle is the center control, which I actually think Execute have a better control over the center. As you know, the zone damage is so much, and it closes very, very quickly. So the closer you are to the center, no.
Meanwhile, this is all happening. 24K still alive, by the way. Just throwing it out there. I see 24K finally making some moves out there in the distance. Might actually surprise Kiddo on the back line. Yep, hello. I've been here the whole time. 24K showing up in the late game, and that bought the perfect window for Tensa to pull up and pick up its Fate here on the wall.
This is huge. 24K is actually saving Execute's game right here. They're giving him one more shot at the 2v2.
Bombay in the open, UMP.
Oh my gosh. You gotta think.
There it is. The classic 2v2 right now. Who will get it?
I think Execute have better control over the center here. They're gonna get touched last. And one touch to the zone right here is like a large chunk, as we know. So I think Execute have the advantage right now. We'll see what happens, though. This could go either way. Whoever hits their shots right now. He's controlling the backhand flank. Oh, he's on the roof.
Oh, Lip on the roof.
This is an angle.
This is honestly, Lip, just stay up here. You know, because Lip might be able to survive if they're in the dead center. No meds, though. So Lip probably going to be jumping down with the DVS, looking for that hero play. Did let off a shot, though, so they're aware that Lip is up there. Here comes Lip. from the top with the free point. But look at this. The trade's back and forth, and Tensa with the final blow. UMP on to MAMBA. Execute. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner.
Man.
Game number 2.
He almost just turned around, jumped down, hit Fate, and then turned around and 1v1 Tensa. That was almost an incredible play to end it off right there. Really well played. Wow.
So let me ask you though, I was trying to touch on it. You got that player on the roof. Would the play have been, is it even possible, pass off the heals? Just stay up there, heal, try to survive. Or was it just, listen, we got to take the fight. That's our only option.
They were held up in the city for a very long time, but if I remember correctly, and if the zones are the same as before, Miramar is one of those maps that you cannot heal. You can't even do it for one circle. Vikendi is one of those maps where you can keep going for a very long time, and that's when you see those city endings where they're just pumping and pumping and pumping.
Yeah.
But Miramar, I believe there's not even a chance. I don't know how much roof was still left in. I would have liked to see him there a little bit longer, but I'm assuming that he jumped at the last possible second. So assuming he had no more roof left, that was the play. But wow, almost 180.
It happens almost. And you know what? I got to give it to Ace of Spades because let's bring in Jukes, by the way. I was talking to the team before today started, and they told me that they've been practicing different play styles, and they're really trying to figure out what works best for their squad. So for them to show up on this Miramar game, get the second place, I love to see it here.
You're gonna show up, right? Tensa is back, baby. Oh my goodness, dude. The guy got his voice back in the game and disappeared. I thought he was gone forever, but he has returned here and clutched up a win. I mean, you said it earlier, Uneven, right? You said, I don't see how Execute can lose this, right? With that zone position that they had. They almost lost it, right? They almost lost it. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that was legit the only way they lose was exploding on their rotation in the car, which I couldn't fathom would have happened. But yeah, they still managed to clutch it up. Honestly, it was all thanks to 24 though, putting in the work, killing that third member of the last team, and allowing Execute the time to get the revive and push up and take that center control. So that was a bit of luck. I'm not gonna lie. They threw it and then they clutched it up though.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they did, I think, take advantage of a very lucky opportunity here because Dave, right? If he was out, right? If that last player from YKG was gone earlier, I think Fuller takes that game easy, right?
Oh, without a doubt, man. It's just how the cards folded for them here. I'm trying to see, what are they trying to tell me here? We had the pickup in the buggy, and we brought him to safety. We were able to get the pickup. Adrian running out of that last bullet at the end as well. So, Hot Chicks, there's just a ton of just very close clutch plays here. And I know you're the king of passing out the clutch badge, Hot Chicks. I got to ask you, were there any plays worthy of the clutch badge here this game?
I mean, I don't know. I think that last play from Execute was a luck badge. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that could have gone either way for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're still waiting to see that moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, that had ice water in his veins, you know?
They couldn't touch Robert GG right there.
Oh wow.
He had some jukes and they were hot. I will admit, you know. But you know what? People be spamming that mini a little bit too much. I think at the higher levels, we see a lot more players take their time, you know, and just make sure they hit those caps rather than just try to spray that mini.
Oh man, am I glad you said that. I am the biggest proponent of that. That is like, I always judge people that tap quickly and assume that they're worse players. I haven't heard that a lot of times.
Really?
I'm very happy you said that. Yeah, I always think slow tapping is so superior. It's not even close. And I can, in my opinion, if you haven't figured that out, like, you're a bit behind.
Ooh, ridiculous. 7 eliminations total.
Dude's
with
on 2
Execute. Teams. Yeah, and then now you got Trick there as well. Trick did actually.
What? A little bit of a mess up there.
Oh my goodness. Look at this though. Milos here. ATON Esports 4 knocks. Fate right now on top. 4 eliminations. So look at that. Hey, Fate.
I mean,
biggest fragger on Execute.
I like the damage too. Yeah, it's always good to look at the ratio of damage to eliminations, right? If they have a nice 200 damage per elimination, you know that they're playing the game right. They're finishing their food. They're not getting any lucky shots. He's almost there. So yeah, he earned those kills. When you see like high kill games and low damage counts, get a little fishy. It's like, maybe you got a little bit lucky.
Yeah, maybe he stole a couple, right? Well,
Exactly.
Speaking of steal, right? Look at that. You got to execute on top with 21 total points. There we go. North America putting some points on the board. YKG as well. They're at the end game, in third place with 11. What else do you think stands out to you, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at YKG. Although they haven't had like an insane game, they're still getting some really good, consistent points here tonight so far. I like that in the early game, they're getting involved. They're getting into some fights, and say when things don't work out in their favor, they have that ejection, that plan to have at least one of their squad mates just try to survive a little longer to get some additional points. And in this case, we actually got some limb points out of it as well. So YKG slowly creeping and crawling up your overall leaderboard, trying to represent NA out here tonight in the Titan series.
Represent, but I'll tell you what, Brazil, LATAM are representing real hard. We saw on that last page, Luke's intense game, putting some consistent points on the board, and that's why you're going to see them still up on top. But YKG, rocket launching themselves up to the top 3. Let's go.
Yeah, you want to see those. You can't win every game in PUBG, so whenever you aren't going to get the win, you really do want to see that 10 point per game average. That's the golden number. When you don't get a win, you want to shoot for that 10 points, and that's exactly what YKG did. What that does for you is it keeps you into that top 3 range, and whenever you're going to get the opportunity for a win, it'll come. You play well and the zone hits you and you get that blessing for the win and those elimination points, that's when you shoot up and take that first place. So nothing wrong with getting 11 points.
10 points per game, that's
the number.
Recipe for championships. That is the golden, that's for sure, right? Well, we'll see how, if they can continue on with that energy. Let's go, right? We're halfway through the day, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back after this break.
Fight or fly, we will stay through the perils we dare not to stray. Spark the match, light the flame. Sight, dangerous, dynamite.
With a nice pre-fire, should catch kindness, passes some kindness, says, I'm taking out you first, and then you later, baby. Let's go. I'm gonna be surprised if we see execute try to, take out this side of the map a little early on, but they're staying completely away. K19.
Got one up. The DBS.
It's out. Oh my gosh.
Good into the DBS. The 1v2 right now, Hot Jukes.
Elf, it's your time.
Go!
Can you do this? He gets another. One more. The DBS under. Where are your shots?
I really like this information he's getting. Huge knock. Oh my god.
Two in the background coming down. This fight takes too long, but he hits the free fire on 2 players.
So Diego looking over that window is gonna pop his head, say peekaboo, 1 down, 3 to go. Now looking to find the second, does so. Joey Chico last up for the squadron. YKG losing 2 players early to an elimination. Well, Chico, doing a little prone crawl here, but gets caught by a fragmentation grenade. Those things are nobody's friends ever.
Oh, and here's a fight.
Ooh, this is going to be Zombie Boys. They needed to hear that hype speech. They got 1. They're looking at 2.
Wow.
Can they finish it off? They already had 1 elim coming into this, turning and burning on a Mercy. Mercy will go down. That'll be a bunch of eliminations, and Zombie Boys.
They're gonna let the circle do its work. All 3 of the ATON members in 1 car. Ayala on foot in the wide open.
Oh my gosh, Ayala, don't do it to him! Don't do it to him, Ayala! Don't do it to him!
huge, but they did get that rest. But Chief Blow with the double knock. That is going to be C4 in big trouble. You want to change your pick? Change it. Change it now. Change it. Change it. Truly vaulted. Takes the shot.
Wait.
Baby run right on by. And now Hayuya.
So he just hightailed up the hillside. He gets
Backside angle. Connects on Mythic. What a highlight reel play this is.
And we're back with some new faces. Look at that. We got Colin and Enigma. Boys, welcome on in. I heard you there. I heard you bickering back and forth, thinking about which play was better, you know? Colin saying that Enigma, you're wrong. I was like, what? Dude, I couldn't believe it. I'm just kidding, guys. Right, how y'all doing? How do you guys feel so far about the start of the day, Colin? I'll start with you.
Hey, look, I'm feeling good until you almost got me there saying that I was disagreeing with Enigma. That man's got hands like Mike Tyson in the early 90s. I ain't going toe-to-toe with him nowhere. If he says it's right, it's got to be right. I'm riding his coattails all night long.
Let's go. Enigma, right? Hey, how about this? I'm going to go straight into the last game, right? Right there at the end. How do you feel about the execution from Execute?
Subpar, to say the least. Okay, I'm not gonna put it, in a nice sugarcoat kind of way. The driving, half the lobby must have died in a car. First off,
That's true.
But then, at the end, luckily, the SLR player jumped off the roof, which, I was thinking that play was sick. Like, he's gonna peek over the roof, he's gonna have free shots. Ends up missing it. Tensa spots him, a player, that has that sort of resume and caliber that could recognize someone might be on the roof. But then, just jumping off the building, kind of a saving grace for Execute. Got a little bit sketchy at the end, but, they ended up, closing out with the kills, getting the win, and, thankfully for them being able to move up on the leaderboard.
My question to this is to you, Colin, right? Jumping off the roof, hitting the play, getting the game winner, right? Or peeking off the roof and getting the game winner. Which one looks better in a clip?
It'll forever be jumping off the roof.
That's
Look,
right.
If you're going to be able to Batman somebody, you've got to do it correct. If you're going to come from the elevation, you got to hit him with the, where is she? And come straight off the roof. Just both elbows. You got to hit him like the Dark Knight. Get him a 2-piece and a biscuit, baby. Put him on a highlight reel. You know how I get down, man.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay, for that reason, I will say it was acceptable. All right, it was acceptable now, Let's see about Sandhawk, though. You're not going to be able to get away with none of that shenanigans, that's for sure. It's Sandhawk. Minute left on the clock. You guys have seen the first 2 games, right? 2 more left to go. We're starting to see some life from NA Enigma, right? Are we going to continue to see that here in the latter half of the day?
I mean, we're seeing life from NA, but it's from teams that are already basically secured in that top, A12 spot. I'm trying to look at teams like N-Hyper, even in other regions like C4 and stuff. We got Black Mamba, MEZEXIS, all 4 at the bottom of the leaderboard. Really just subpar throughout all 3 weeks. And 2 of those teams being teams that either won qualifiers or won the championships.
Well, let's see if they could get it done. I can hear the pitter-patter of little feet. Let's take it on over to the jungle, Colin. Enigma, take it away.
Jungle, baby.
You got pitter-patter of little feet, my man. Do you hear him running back and forth in the plane? Ain't nobody jumped out yet, my man. They still get parachutes on. They still trying to figure out what glider they coming out with. They trying to get whatever they can together just before they get out. So how big is that plane for you to be hearing that loud of pitter-patter, my man? And how soft are them engines? That's some Tesla-type technology if you gonna have some nonsense like that.
Well, I mean, if you're wanting the Tesla, right on the screen chat, you can see it. UC giveaway, PUBGMobile.com/redeem. Get yourself the Tesla. I was kind of eyeing in that Miramar match. Chico was rocking the upgradable AK skin that had fire on it. A game that just does skins right. It doesn't matter about the outfits. We talked about it last week. The Yeti outfit that I used to rock with Dave. We got the Corn outfits. Colin, if you're in this sort of lobby, what are you wanting to rock?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Every bone in my body wants to look good and look fresh at all times.
For
but
sure.
At the same time, I've always kind of been a mascot of every game I've gone into. I've always wanted to look like the mascot. So just give me the classic, baby. The white button down with the black pants and the button down, baby, with the backpack, little level 3 on the face, baby. Come on now. I'm trying to look as good as I possibly can, looking like as average as I possibly can, okay?
Well, maybe you'll catch them off guard, if these players play ranked a lot, there's sometimes some bots in the lobby. They're rocking the default. Maybe you could play it off in a tournament setting that, you're not a real player, and then you catch them slipping, give them the little 1-2 action. with a pan or something as they're running up to you trying to punch you out to save ammo. But right now, I mean, I'm looking at the map. I'm seeing a bit of a hot drop at boot camp, but everywhere else seems to be free from congestion, I guess you could say the least. And I mean, we're about to be seeing the zone 2 popping up, hopefully. Player already being lost, I believe, on INF. But we'll have to get a look to see at that in a little bit. But really just going to be, I mean, I
like how they continue to spread. I mean, you were talking about you see a nice spread. You don't see a ton of congestion. You saw a little bit of a hot drop. Right here, I only really see 2 teams contesting one another. Everybody else has kind of picked their spot in the map, is starting to loot up. What I'd like to see, though, is right there in the middle with INF. They dropped right here. They've already gotten that first point on the board by taking out one member of Jaguar, who, by the way, has got a win tonight. So Jaguar can't be feeling great about already losing a player in this matchup and in this situation. C4, they got to play from behind here across the boot camp. And like you said, little boy, he's looking to try to make a move here. He's moving across these walls. He's trying to peek these windows, get any intel that he possibly can against C4, trying to get some eliminations here. But who was that? Was that Federal outside looking straight across?
I mean, it might have been. I mean, Little Boy, though, to say the least, has not been little at all. I've been seeing a lot of knocks out of him. Unfortunately, you know, the matches haven't really been going their way in a lot of the first 2 matches here tonight. But he has been one that's at least been making waves in the water for his team. And right now, I think he has an idea on where the C4 player's at. A little free knock. Woo! Catch him lacking. Only 2 left on the C4 squad, but we note, you know, talking about the spread, SLR already looking over on the hill, and that's what I love about Sandhawk is that off rip. Even if it's maybe a minute or 2 into the match, I mean, you're getting action.
Yeah, quick rotations, quick looting is always going to come out in your favor. Little boy gets called out, and he goes down, and C4 is going to answer back here with at least 1 attempted cleanup. We're going to go on here to Chow.
Drop shot.
Trying to get shots on, and that's a beautiful job there to overwhelm the drop shot of Daddy Payne, getting that down, getting that elimination. But Flaw, Lil Boy, they're going to need some help. Lil Boy bleeds out. SLR getting a kill, I believe, or getting an elimination, I believe, from the top of that hill, like you were talking about. They rotated early into this, and Passionfruit, I think they've heard this party get started, and they're just wondering why they didn't get an invite.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see too, Jaguar having the same exact idea. I mean, people having the same sort of mindsets. They know these 2 teams like fighting off drop. They know they're the ones that are going, I mean, Saba, free little freebie, free low, you know, a little patented Dave stamp on that. Get the little mustache stamp going. But Jaguar, I mean, I really feel bad for SLR in this situation because they made the right play. They peeked over instantly knowing there was a fight. They got 2, or at least 1 free kill on an INF squad, I believe, maybe 2. But making the rotate, and other teams had the same idea. So, a little unfortunate for them. They're still going to look to push this. I'm liking the idea from them, from the SLR squad on INF. But, I mean, a lot of it's just going to be a time crunch situation. Jaguar's going to be looking at you. Passionfruit's even. And we're already seeing it kick off. A little bit of nades coming out. Not too sure if there's some sort of nades going on. INF still trying to take this fight going on. Already at a man disadvantage. They did get a knock in the far back, stalling this fight a little bit from SLR in a 3v3 mindset. Trying to force a sort of fight. Yang getting caught out with the DBS. We talked about the gun being just superior in every way. Kowski trying to get the cleanup. Law taking a little bit of a 1v1 action. He gets beat, gets the guy to 1 HP. Loran in the back saving his squad from losing another player. Shout out to them. Total of 7 elims around the board. Only losing Little Boy, unfortunately. My favorite player in that squad. But Passionfruit taking this fight with Jaguar, I believe it was, getting the knocks on all of them, almost getting wide. Valic, thankfully, with the save, you know, but a squad that is really needing points right now. Jaguar, one of the teams that's, you know, more of a secured spot, but C4 even, we have to note that they're just near the bottom leaderboard, chat. We're wanting to look at that bottom 4. Hopefully we'll be able to get that focus going on in these last 2 games to see who's going to be moving on to that finals portion of play and who's going to have to fight their way back into the contenders finals. So
My man Enigma, I'm telling you what, that action got so hot and heavy. I had to step away and hit myself with a cold bucket of water, my brother. I said, hold on, Enigma gonna have to handle this. He gonna have to hold down the fort like we saw SLR raid that boot camp. We gonna have to find out who's gonna come out on top. But while they're doing it, I'm gonna let my man Enigma ride because I'm gonna throw some cold water on me and get ready for these next couple of engagements. But I loved the way you held it down for me, brother. I appreciate you.
Oh, you know me.
Gaming's Cello. Looking at Valak. You talked about Valak coming out on top and keeping his team in it by getting those revives. Passion Fruit, though, has to be careful because intense game. They've got 2 players in the area. Diego, 2v1 situation if he peeks the top of that hill. But Adrian, he's got a long-range look all the way across, and we're going to see shots ringing back and forth. Players for both Passion Fruit and Intense going down one after the next. Sixless, though, I believe got at least one of those players down and has already cleaned them up as well, and now it might just be Cello.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about all we want, but, like, Cello, I'm not really sure what the sort of rotate play was supposed to be doing for him. Passion Fruit just sandwiched in this little, like, ridge portion, hugging, I believe, just one car for Juancho and Zuko on the other side, but should be just cleared out here. One base, and the other one gets the little knock. Thirst gets it all going, but Passion Fruit, the fight before with them and Jaguars, essentially those reverse roles of Passion Fruit circling around Jaguar, wiping them out, you know, showing Jaguar wasn't able to stand in that sort of position, and then Passion Fruit being able to come through and show, you know, that spot is playable to be made. So I really like seeing Passion Fruit. They're already at 7 kills with all 4 players. This is a complete night and day performance out of the last 2 weeks and 2 games even from the squad.
INF as well with 7 points to their name with 3 players still up in this matchup. And we can see everybody starting to kind of collapse into the middle of the map here as that first zone closes out. And Hyper, I believe they're in the top left portion of that mini map, has 1 player left alive. What are we looking at?
No,
what are we looking at? What do you see, baby?
I'm seeing the 1, and then if you look at the south side of the new zone, I'm seeing 3
Oh my
players.
God.
So I'm not sure what. I don't know if his phone died or, you know, maybe he got duct taped to the seat in the plane. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but hopefully.
It's the biggest brain play we've ever seen. That's what it is. I'm going to call it right now. He's about to 1v the lobby from that side.
The old strats where, you know, people like going 4 corners and working in and playing solo. But, I mean, if you're 1 player in this, I'm not seeing you 1v4. I mean, you're not. You know, you're not Chief, you're not, or Mythic, you know, hit the 1v4 in the first week. You're not that caliber of a player, okay? You're not doing
so
that
you're
every
saying
day.
he isn't him?
No, he's not him. Okay, he's got 1 kill.
That's tough.
I'm not sure
That's
how
tough.
he got the 1 kill. Maybe it's on that execute player. They are missing 1, but, you know, something went down. GK getting 1 kill at least, but Passion Fruit now, I mean, I think they kind of... Oh.
They got a sniff. They got a sniff and a wiggle of what he is, but he's just trying to play that rock. I like this. He's just staying. He's just staying hidden. My man said, "No, sir. I'm playing hide and seek, and I'm the 2023 champion. Get out of here."
Well, you know, at least GK's not alone. He's got his little PUBG buddy behind him. You see him running behind. level 3 helmet.
He ain't alone, but he's as alone as you gonna get right now. My brother ain't alone, but he might as well be R. Kelly in the closet because somebody watching out for him right now. He's got to be curious not to get shot on and taken out in this one. But Passion Fruit, they're rotating to the farthest top side of the map. We move back into INF, Influence Rage here in the middle of the map. They are making their motion toward that middle section, and I like how they've come out kind of, I don't want to say firing on all cylinders necessarily because they did lose Lil Boy, and you said, I mean, he's Lil Boy might be your favorite boy.
Yeah.
You said he was your favorite boy on the team.
Let's not pause. Let's not, you know, Chad, don't clip that. But, you know, he definitely is the favorite player for me on that team. But, you know, I'd like to note, I think Kaiowski was rocking some sort of Bigfoot outfit, not the Yeti one, but I don't know if it's the Crow outfit that's only in region-specific areas or if it's a new Bigfoot outfit, but I might need to be, you know, DMing him later and asking, you know, where did you get the fit? I might need to cop, get a little bit going, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why you need to cop anything. That's calling 911 in my book. I'm an old man. I don't get that lingo, baby. I don't get that lingo.
Well,
Come on now.
You're not Taylor old, maybe. I mean, well, you know, maybe I should.
I'm older than he is. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother.
Maybe I should start saying
lie
the boomer jokes to you, but you know, a little bit of a.
Hey, look.
You know,
you gotta hit me with the what's a lemon's favorite way to answer the phone.
Okay.
He said, "I'm yellow."
Okay. Well, Yellow, I mean,
This is gonna be
his
Black
HP
Mamba
bar might
NA.
be red a little bit with Papa getting beamed on the hill, but YKG now, we're swapping in. We got a little bit of a cool period going on with the map itself. YKG holding a little bit of, I believe, a center spot in zone, just waiting it out, seeing what the game does with the.
Do you like them being split across the street right here, Enigma?
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of this game involves, that TPP aspect. You want to make sure no one's able to just run up on you and get a free building onto you. If it was FPP, it would be a lot different of a play style situation. You'd be seeing people playing outside.
Ooh.
Oh, what happened there?
And Hyper just lost another player. Lost a player to the zone. I think it got down and then taken out. And I'm not sure if it was the southern player or the northernmost player, but I'd have been curious to see if that guy got away at the top side of the map. Zombie Boys, look, I pumped him up last week. I'm hoping to God Zombie Boys pops off for me yet again. They had a bunch of kills. They had a perfect 4 swipe.
Dave gave him the pep talk. Okay. He's the coach. He gives them, the ins and outs of how to play. The lobby likes doing this and this. It's like you got to switch this up. Passionfruit squad that has been switching up something, to say the least, getting into the edge of zone here. I really like this spot from them, even though they are going to be a bit of a gatekeep, Andy, toward these teams like Ace and PLK. That being said, MEZEXIS is getting pulled up on, it seems, by Hyper. The team that, oh my goodness, the spray. A team that is able to farm damage. We saw it in the first game, 1,600 damage, but only 1 kill. Hyper now just seems to almost always be losing a player each rotate, but thankfully for them, being able to crash with kindness and get the knock and finish at least some sort of, stepping stone into the next zone. But I mean, Hyper really looking rough right now to get into that top 12 to move on.
And Hyper's one of those teams we needed to really keep our eyes on, and I think they're trying to make some plays tonight. Not only are they trying to go for these eliminations to push themselves closer and closer to having better finishes, but they've taken fights a little bit closer to each other tonight, and I've enjoyed that. While you've said they have lost a member per push, it's one of those things where high risk, high reward. At this point, with the way that you've played in those first couple of weeks, what do you really have to lose other than, possibly having a win on a Monday evening type deal? There's going to be kindness. He's going to heal up just a little bit and keep poking out of that window, trying to see if he can find anybody to take shots on. This is going to be Chief, though, and the rest of Loops. They're going to try to crash onto that building. Chief goes down. The other two try to go straight to Rin, and Rin is going to be in a 3v1. Wow. They can go straight in and take him down. Now kindness, they're going to shoot up that wall. They're going to try to get a down onto kindness. Can kindness get the down onto Chief, though?
A little bit of a pre-nade
in hand. It's the throw. I don't know if he got any knocks there, but can he get at least the finish on Chief? Is he going to go for a finish here?
No, I mean, he's got to jump out of the building and run around the backside, and we see MEZEXIS Crow right on that southern side of the road. He's just hawking it. He's waiting for kindness. Just go for the thirst. Go for Chief. I want the free point. And I mean, Loops, a team that has had Hyper's number all tournament long, now getting a little bit of a thorn in their side from MEZEXIS. Kindness getting a little bit of bless too. Missing Mythic on the buggy prone. Really big miss. He's going for it in some way. Under the building. He's a little rat.
He tried so hard. And I mean, sometimes you get so far, but in the end,
I mean,
that went over your head. It doesn't even matter. Come on now, baby. I'm trying to bring you with me on this journey.
He's protecting the president. I mean, Mythic, though, he's in a 1v1 situation, 1 HP. He's like, I gotta save him. I gotta go save the boy that's popping off. Takes the 1v1, wins it, and now MEZEXIS. I'm expecting Loops to just do the same exact thing they did to Hyper. Take the car, slam one guy, and one player sits back and watches all the mayhem unfold in that building.
Let's see what they can do here, though, because they are healing up. I like that they're taking their sweet time here. They know that while they might have to move into the zone, they've got both of these players kind of pressured out on both sides. One of them's already knocked, so the other player's in a building by himself. Shots through the doorway. Doesn't able to get that first knock. Now he's going to get shot through the jump shot through the window. Trying to return fire, but Crow goes down as well. Loops to back eliminations and some body shots. They are showing some love there at the end of that kill cam. They're trying to let them know, hey, look, you can try to mount up in these buildings all you want. The only thing you're hiding from is a friggin' ninth place finish right now.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about finishes. YKG getting eliminated as well. A team that has been having some questionable plays in the later half of matches, but that early game has been phenomenal by them. We also lost Passionfruit, unfortunately, I believe on a rotate. 8 points for them. We're down to just 7 teams, it looks like, Colin.
Down to a top 7 situation here. Black Mamba with only 2. Ace of Spades, all 4 players up, but not a single elimination point to their credit. INF, though, 11 eliminations. I mean, at this point, they are cruising to as many points as they can. I don't even know if they're going to really... I don't want to say they don't care about the chicken dinner, because you always want a little protein to end the night, baby. But if you want it, you can have it. But I think they're just happy to have them 11 points and be able to keep making somebody else's life absolutely miserable. Big Daddy Blue takes care of another player out there and actually takes care of ATON Esports.
Yeah,
we're going to see, though, back on board with Zombie Boys looking across at Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades, all 4 players up, like we talked about, not a single point to their name. That's going to be a long-range nade from downtown. Ooh. Finds some damage, but does not find a knock. But there's going to be Killu onto a Kiddo shot and gets at least 1 knock. Blinky Bay may go for the revive, but won't be able to stick it just yet. Smokes are out now. Mamba looking for a return. Smokes as well. And Enigma, break it down for me. What do you do here if you're Zombie Boys? Do you push up on the knock?
I mean, I'm expecting Ace even to be taking that advantage push. You know, they have that whole northwestern side of the hill. They got the knock. They needed to just push that aggression to get the knocks. But as they're speaking about it, Zombie Boys opting to give up the hill, knowing it's disadvantageous, and having the zone shift on them, just trying to stay alive even. Just, you know, like tail tucked between their legs type B. Ace having the best position in zone, I'd say now. Getting 1 kill, but that could have been disastrous for either team if they decided to make that aggressive push on the knocks.
Let's see what they do here. As Crazy is outside of that building, just kind of laying prone. Doesn't have to worry about getting shot through the bottom of the building because he does have the brick wall there next to him, but can get shot right there underneath that. There he goes. Look at him finding those sneaky little angles. I like that through the planks. Goes back, turns to his right-hand side yet again. Zombie Boys just mounted up in these buildings, waiting for a possible push from Ace. That's going to be Julio throwing out at least, I believe, a smoke there to the right-hand side of that stairwell. But Ace of Spades has got the elevation. They've got the elevation. This is a dangerous spot because they're looking down on any place that Zombie Boys want to rotate. But who was that off to the right-hand side there? I couldn't see it in time to be able to tell who it was for Mamba.
I mean, I think
it was Loops.
Yep. Loops, you know, I think they're at that lower compound still where they were just absolutely slaughtering the lobby. We see it, you know, a lot of the zones open just from all these early game fights these teams were taking, trying to take that aggressive stance when they hear shots and just getting caught out in the open. We saw it with Jaguar. We saw it with even, you know, N-Hyper. All these sorts of teams wanting to pick up these points and just really not putting 2 and 2 together of, hey, we're not the only team near here. There's going to be other people around us. And hearing things, I mean, Ace is hearing all the nades get pulled. They're looking for some sort of angles through the windows. I'm trying to spray, but Colin, I mean, do you think this is going to turn out to be a full fight, or do they just kind of almost handshake this?
Ooh, they're going to go for the full fight. They bust right in through the door. They're going to get inside of the building and try to return fire, but Ace of Spades coming out on top. They said this is the dead man's hand, and the Zombie Boys get returned to the grave. You can always come back one more time in our match number 4 tonight, but for now, you're going to find yourself in 5th place. We are down to just Extreme Slayers, Ace of Spades, the Loops, and Black Mamba. Extreme Slayers, they've got the call out on where Ace of Spades just got those. Oh, from Naden gets the first. What an opening salvo from Frady.
Yeah, I mean, Extreme Slayers hearing this fight going down, they're watching the kill feed, they're like, hey, we need to make some sort of move or we're losing this game. And he takes the 1v1 situation, loses it with the DBS Frady, hitting the UMP shots, getting the thirst even. Ace down to just a solo now, ratting in the little lone shack. Does have a DBS, so I would be worried about pushing, getting thirsted, but Loops now.
Oh!
Mamba. Oh! Did he hit that?
Yes, he called the camp, basically. He said, look, I know you're in the shed by yourself. I'm going to throw a lone fragmentation in there. And lo and behold, Explosion still becoming your best friend if you're trying to get those knocks without having to put yourself in danger. Black Mamba across the hillside from Loops. And this is going to be Ayala. We saw Ayala hit a ton of shots last week. And Remix got that down, so that's going to end up being, I believe, another knock for the side of Extreme Slayers. Remix putting Black Mamba's Minaz down as well. And now Remix, I mean, he's got all the area to work with. We are in a situation where Black Mamba's down to their last player, Loops, all 4 alive. Extreme Slayers in a 3v4v1 situation. Bishop all by his lonesome. I know it's Frady that's still up. Frady is still up for Black Mamba.
Yeah, and I mean, Black Mamba just, I mean, both teams know where he's at. Kobe from Mythic down to a 4v3 situation, and seeing how Loops played the last 2 push fights they took, I don't see them losing this, Colin.
Well, we're going to find out if they got a chance to lose it, because you're still going to have to take the gunfights. You're still going to have to put in the work to come away with the elims, come away with those wins and those knocks, and this is going to be Mythic. Cooking one in his hand, long range over the top of that hill. Will not find anybody with that one. And this is going to be Remix looking for an angle here. I believe he saw a little bit of Mythic to that left-hand side of him. Remix might have had a chance to pop and drop, but will not go for it. Will instead go for the painkillers and just try to keep himself fully ready to go for this final fight. Drips down the mountain and gets taken out. Unbelievable. That is a mistake and a half, if you ask me, Enigma.
Yeah, and I mean, there's 2 players on the rock. He should have taken the shots when it was just 1, but they rotate around. Loops is just full throttle, just, you know, EBS out. I'm just sending it in the zone. Give me the points, baby, because they are winning it.
Loops come away with a winner chicken dinner here in match number 3. They kept the most standing toward the end, and they stood tall and stood above the rest. It was an extremely good effort by Extreme Slayers, but at the end of the day, one false move, one misstep can cost you the entire match, and they found that out the hard way.
Yeah, and I mean, Loops themselves, I was looking at the scores before we were even loading into the match, and I mean, NA in itself is just not near the top anywhere when it comes to kills. And Jukes, what do you got to say about that? About the kills, about the placement, about all this stuff that NA is doing right now?
Oh my gosh. First off, that was ridiculous. Before I get into that, right? You had one of the best shouts I ever heard, Colin. It was so good when you said, like, let's see if Loop has a chance to lose this. And then half a second later, someone just locked onto them. And it was just like, no way they're losing this one. Easy dub for them and beautifully executed, by the way. It was awesome.
Look, you've always got that chance to lose a game. I've seen people make those missteps, and right there, I think if Remix actually takes Mythic out, we might be talking about a completely different game, but that's why I said right after, let's see if they got a chance to lose this. You still got to put in the work. You still got to make the shots. Remix, he hesitated, and we all know that hesitation is the enemy of success. If you want it, you got to go out and get it. And Loops in that game, at the very end, they went out and got it. My man Enigma even called it. They went into Big Daddy Blue to rotate around a rock just to make sure they initiated some final elimination.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, when Loops is driving the way that they have been, like, that's when they're at their best. You know, when they're all 4 up, just full eyes on the prize, they are tough to beat, and they got it done indeed. And it was really heads up for them to not leave that door open, like you mentioned with that play from Remix. Now, to get what you're talking about, Enigma, right? It's been crazy to see NA, you know, struggle so much. You know, Sandhawk is that map that's always that wild card, right? You know, if you get the zone, you get the right position, it's really hard to lose that one. But, you know, we're still seeing a struggle from NA to be able to put up at least some type of consistency. I mean, what do you think it's going to take here?
And I mean, a lot of it, I think, just comes down to these, you know, international teams are starting to recognize that, hey, I mean, even if it's a lot about the zone and stuff, it doesn't matter about the zone if there's less teams alive in it. That means more space for you to take yourself, and it just allows you to do plays like this where it looks like there's barely anyone even in the lobby.
Yeah, you know, I think it has to do with a lot of, like, their team positioning. It's a lot more old school. They play a lot more together, and it's just, they overwhelm teams. You know, I think NA kind of, like, has gotten into that thinking that these crazy 4-man splits work. I mean, it doesn't, though, when you have an entire squad of Loops just crashing on you. They're just going to pick you apart bit by bit, and we just saw them do that. I mean, 9 eliminations, put some major points on the board, right?
And it's got to be the eye slit. I'm telling you, Drew, it's got to be the eyebrow slit. That gives you powers. Level up, you know, whatever the case may be, that's it. Because, I mean, we're looking at it, you know, taking up 2 of the slots, total elims, most assists, you know, it's not too crazy a one. I mean, I could give assists to Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean I'm doing much, but he's still up there. His whole roster is just locked in, ready. And I mean, we're seeing the Zombie Boys up there. Shout out to Dave with it. But I mean, the rankings right now, I'm more interested in the bottom half, to be honest, Jukes. But the top here, we're seeing YKG fall a little bit. Zombie Boys moving up, and Loops taking over that first place, you know, with the win. 9 elims total, just really just showing out tonight.
I mean, what stands out to me, Colin, right, is influence rate. Look at that. 6th place, 13 points, no?
I was gonna say, look, when you get 11, them rank points, they nice, but they ain't everything when you get them 11 points. All right, baby, you start getting them W digits. You said, look, let's just send it. I'm gonna hit the send button. I'm gonna go overnight with it. But like my main man Enigma said, you look at these bottom half of the rankings, and some of these teams, they needed to make a little bit better of a move if they wanted to move up on that dance floor. But look like some people got 3 left feet out there.
Yeah, it's crazy though, man. I mean, we saw 13 points, 6th place from IF. That's going to put them in 3rd. And another team, right, is PASSIONFRUIT. 8 eliminations, not a placement point in sight. But like you mentioned, you put down those elims, you're going to be sitting pretty. And with 8, that's got to be definitely a position they want to be. Let's take a look at the overall rankings and see where everybody stacks up now. Wow, YKG from 3rd all the way down to 5th. Ooh, boom. Crazy to see that drop here, Colin.
That is a huge drop, and I'm telling you, I love the fact, though, that Influence Rage, they keep chugging along. They keep putting up big elim numbers. They keep putting up big points on the board. And while you've got a team like Loops that has been dominating with some of those extra chicken dinners here and there, Influence has got 2 of their own. That's why even though you see that discrepancy of about 30 to 35 points or so, you're looking at the fact that Influence Rage just keeps pushing themselves further up the board by continuing to push in those elim points. But I'm telling you, my man, Enigma, you got to break it down like a shotgun for me, because look at that. That 11th through 14th place, 11th through 15th really separated by less than 10, 12 points at most.
And I mean, C4 is still in the contention where a lot about the kills, a team that has won finals, back-to-back, and Hyper even thrown in the mix, back-to-back with the qualifier portions, really just fumbling right now, fumbling the bag. They're needing to pick it up into this last match because, anything can go. Even 9th, I guess you could say, if the whole leaderboard was to flip over, Loops goes, 16th and ATON goes 15th. It's a possibility for multiple teams to be moving up. But like you said, it's going to come down to that, 14th, 15th, 16th place teams to try to make the move in the last match.
If C4 wins another finals, I'm dumping a bucket of water over my head. That's going to be absolute insanity. The way we're seeing all these other teams compete, it's ridiculous. Yeah, bonus points, they mean a lot. They definitely help that, first 2 games. If you have a couple bad ones, they kind of let you get that little start, right? But they don't mean everything, right? We've seen teams before that didn't get a lot of bonus points rocket launch up in the finals. So I don't know. What do you think C4's strategy is here if you were to guess here, Colin?
I think early you get at least 1 full team wipe. You got to drop somewhere, take on a team, get your confidence under your belt, and then start rotating in early. Start finding better positioning early in this match 4 to try to get that kind of finality, that stamp on a game. You might not get a chicken dinner, but get as close as you can to one. Put up some late game elim points, and I really do believe that you have a chance to jump up the leaderboard just enough. But Jukes, I'm going to answer your question with a question. Are you going to dump hot water, cold water, or possibly steam on your head?
I'll do cold water. Why not?
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to cool myself down, because I'll be like, what are these other teams doing? Because it is crazy to see, a team like C4 who, like you mentioned, Enigma, right, has won before. Now in last place. This is so many games to see nothing from. I think that's pretty shocking, no?
Well, maybe they're taking a playbook at Hyper saying, fumbling, America's doing horrible, and then, coming back and full throttle, like swinging at them. Maybe Hyper's doing the same thing with this tournament, maybe a little bit of underperformance. PMPL is starting around the corner. So, it's not like they don't have something, to be, aiming their eyes on. The prize is in front of them. It's just a matter of them being able to reach and grab it.
The calm before the storm, right? That is definitely something I'm hoping to see from them, because it's pretty uncharacteristic to see them struggle so much, especially that game 1, right? That first Aaron Gale match. You see them, they have a 3rd place finish there. They had the zone. They had all the position in the world, right? And fumbled that bag. So we're going back to Aaron Gale, the good old tried and true map. Do you think it's possible that we're going to see an Hyper top finish? Enigma, I'll start with you.
Well, a lot of it's just going to come down to if they get the zone or not. Basically where they landed is where the zone finished. So for them, going to this last match, I'm not liking the rotates they're making. I'm not liking any of the stuff I'm seeing in the last 3 weeks, even not just today. but the last 3 weeks from them. So I'd like to see them take a playbook out of what Colin just said. They should be taking a fight like C4 early in the match against someone that they know is either, they're going to have to cross the bridge like Loops, or they're going to just be one of those weaker teams that are wanting, we have the gun skill. Let's mental reset, get our first few kills, and then play for the next zone.
Crazy to think about when we saw that Miramar match, right? That Miramar match, they got bodied out of a vehicle once again. They can't get it going in that one. We got one more Aaron Gale here to go. Now, we talked about can Hyper get anything done? Colin, I'm going to ask you, right? Can Loops be stopped here?
I think Loops is going to come out hot yet again. They're going to try their best to show that when they complete that circle, when all four of them are alive and together, they are almost unstoppable in any given match, any given moment. And I like the call out. Can they be stopped? There is one team that, to me, has the gun skill and has the hot streak to do it and the momentum of the elims behind them, and it is Influence Rage. If anybody's going to put a stop to what Loops has been able to do these past 2 weeks, it is Influence Rage. They've got to center and challenge and focus up that rage and unleash it like a hyper beam on the boys from Loops.
I like that call. Because early on, I was like, dude, what is going on with INF? I mean, I expected to see this team in the top 5 all day long, and they just struggled to get things kicked off in the Titan series. But then now they're catching their feet. I think they've adjusted to the lobby, and they're really starting to exert their dominance. I think a good game here will definitely put the stamp on it, Enigma. Now, INF, a great call. Any other teams you think that we could see possibly, come out of the woodworks here?
I'm looking at YKG. I want to, bias. I want to be looking at an NA team that's, going to be showing up and showing out. Joey, Chico, a lot of them been hitting shots. The later game has been a bit of, a little bit of a mishap going on, a bit of maybe miscomms or misplays from individual players, but they themselves are winning these squad fights. They're able to take it early on. They're doing the research on people who rotate near them and who they could fight. It's just a matter of applying that through the 100% of the match, just not the first 50% they've been doing.
Like that there from YKG. Colin, I'm going to ask you about Execute.
Okay. I like Execute. I like the idea of being talked to about Execute. They're still well within that top 12. They've already kind of gotten through that qualification series. We've seen them get very close. They have a chicken dinner in these first couple of weeks. So we've seen them perform well at times. I do have to say, though, I got a bone to pick with my boy Enigma. He wants to have a little home cooking for an NA team. Zombie Boys are 1 point out of 12th place. They're 1 point, and you can't even give them no love.
No.
You can't. Come on.
No.
Come on.
I'm not even going to give them the scraps of the bones after Loops has it, okay? They're just not the skins, not the meat, not the bones. They don't even get the bag he gets put in, okay?
You're lucky I don't have the laptop I normally throw, because I would throw that laptop right now, just out of sheer anger that you can't even give them no love, being 1 point out of 12 plays, needing you to pump them up, to raise them up.
No.
You know what? I think Colin? They need one more speech, brother. One more. It's the last day. It worked last time, right? One more here.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Look at me, Zombie Boys. At the end of the day, when you woke up this morning, the good Lord above gave you one mission. He gave you the mission to be and continue to shoot excellently. They want you to rotate perfectly. They want you to show up and show out and do what nobody right now on the desk other than your boy believes you can do, and that is finish not only in that top 5, that top 3. They want you to be nothing but number 1. I want you to leave this locker room right now, and I want you to go out there and show them that hell hath no fury like the dead being raised up, and showcase why the Zombie Boys shall live forever in the hearts of this man right here.
Let's go, baby. Come on, right? Zombie Boys, do it. Get it done, right? We saw them have some really solid eliminations last week when Colin did this, right? Can they do it again? I want to see that crystal ball. I want to see it happen. Colin, Enigma, take it away for the final game.
Final game here, Enigma, and it's going to be a good one no matter what happens here. We are going to get a showcase of a map and match number 4. We've talked about predictions. We've talked about teams. We've beaten this dead horse into the ground about this map. And all that is left is to jump out that ship and get the shots underway.
And I mean, everyone's going to have to, dust off the old playbooks or something, because some of these teams, we're going back to the original map. Shout out, by the way, anyone in chat, catch it. UC giveaway, of course, PUBGMobile.com/redeem. But as I was saying, Colin, we're going to be looking at someone. Are they going to pull out some old strats? Are they going to just pull something brand new like we want to see with dropping on people and fighting? Or are they just going to say, hey, let's just stick to our own game plan. Let's do our thing. But Colin, I mean, we're on the original map. I don't think there's much else really we can improve on here.
Hey, look, you got to go back to the tried and true. You got to go with what brought you to the dance. You got to leave in the same car that got you there. And you can see it, teams hovering early over the school, Razhak and Yasnaya. And that is one of those situations where I believe early in these weeks, we saw N-Hyper getting taken out at Yasnaya early, and now they've dropped south side of the map right near that bridge area. So this is going to be an interesting drop early for me because they have kind of backed out and bowed out of that fight. PASSIONFRUIT still going to be dropping Yasnaya and will be in an early engagement, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be against Influence Rage, who has also dropped there. And it looks like Execute and Loops, they're both going to military base, and that is going to be a heck of a fight when it breaks out. So we've got a couple of early interesting storylines to overwatch here early in this one, Enigma.
Yeah, and I mean, you noted it. Yasnaya, the place to be. Every single Erangel, we've seen some sort of either 4v4 or 4v4v4 fight. There's been more than just two teams landing there fighting each other for the loot and the spot itself. It seems like one of the teams maybe bowed out, trying to play a bit more of a placement. But looking at that zone shift, it shifted straight towards Severny. And that being said, yes, Naya's on the edge. Are you going to want to take that fight? You're in a spot of the zone where you could be taking an advantageous point in the very center, playing on rotates and stuff. But, I mean, it'll be up to them, PASSIONFRUIT, whoever team they are fighting there, if they're wanting to take that action.
Already a player from ATON has gone down, and that was a member of INF, but answering back, that's going to be the end of Federal, and now another one drops, and INF, the team that I really thought Influence Rage might be able to come out and put a stop to Loops. They are going to get a stop early in this map, thanks to ATON Esports, and there it is, the jump shot! What a beautiful shot! 3 players from ATON down! It's gonna be Bruno. Bruno, last up, Flaw. Will he go for the shot? Will Florin go for the shot? Over the top, there's gonna be Bruno, ducking and dodging and ducking and diving, but won't be able to come away with it, and ATON Esports eliminated in 16th place, but at what cost, Enigma? Only 2 players from Influence Rage left standing.
And I thought Bruno was about to do it there because he had the pump. Unfortunately, I think if he had any other shotgun, he maybe squad wipes him there because he got 3 out of 4 down on that squad with just a pump alone. You got to be hitting the full shot because if you don't knock them with 1 bullet, then they're eating you. You're not going to be living. So a little bit of a misplay, I think, going on from the rest of his team, not supporting him in any way. And another note to make, too, is PASSIONFRUIT not capitalizing on the fact that INF had just lost 2 players. Maybe they will later on, but C4 having to take an apartments fight of all places where you're going to have to be looking at every single window, every roof, every nook and cranny is going to have to be cleared, going one by one for a chance for you to be able to not get shot in the back.
I ain't gonna lie to you. This Zombie Boys C4 fight, I mean, this is basically for whether or not I'm gonna be feeling good at the end of the night, because if they take out C4, that gives them a chance to come back in this. But Julio's gonna get tagged up a little bit early in this fight. Ember goes down up top. Daddy Payne, beautiful shots across the entirety of this complex, and Julio's gonna back out here. Beautiful job playing his position there at the stairwell. Might rotate up to the top and try to get a shot onto somebody that tries to rotate across this section of buildings to try to go for that finish. But it is going to be Ember Boy going out. So one player from Zombie Boys already out. The hype speech did not work as well this time as it did, because 2 players about to go straight on to Crazy. I mean, they're about to crash onto Crazy.
Hey, don't be giving up just yet. They still got 3. They did lose the player that was probably in the safest spot. They don't know Crazy's here. He's got the S12. Spraying it through the smoke, not connecting any shots. His teammate trying to overwatch, but I mean, it's not much overwatching if everything's smoke in front of you, Colin.
Oh my goodness. Went for that little jump shot there through the doorway. Won't be able to find it. Julio goes for one of his own, and he goes down. And Killa Baby is last alive. Is he gonna
Get out of there?
Is he gonna be able to get out?
No.
No, Zombie Boy's out in 15th, and that, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna make me cry. So Enigma, I need you to talk for about 30 seconds or so, because I gotta take a
Well,
minute.
I mean, that's one team out of the 4 that will have to be playing into the next finals for contenders to try to get back into this Premier Finals play, because there's no way in heck they're making it. Challengers itself, we had seen some teams move up. They were a Challengers team originally that moved up into Premier, and performed very well and played in Premier now. But unfortunately for them, they got to go back, prove it again that they have what it takes to be here. PASSIONFRUIT trying to sniff out this last player of INF. Seems like they might have found one already, but Colin, I'll have to get you a tissue or something, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a moment, man. I mean, it's just, let me just work through this real quick. Hold on. There we go. We got it. Okay. Top 14 teams left in this one. Zombie Boys, ATON, first 2 teams to go out. C4 and INF, both with 4 elimination points to their names. This is going to be 6-less pushing in across the buildings. And Moran here, just holding this doorway, just waiting for somebody to try to push through. Might be able to pick one up. 6-less at the front door, and is going to think twice about it. They're going to jump in through the window, and now Loran turning around, looking at the door frame. He's in a sticky situation, my man. This cannot end well for him if he doesn't get this first up pretty instantaneously and doesn't get it. Hesitation once again, gets the best of somebody, and he goes down. One player taken out in that building, and the other one taken out outside. Influence Rage out with only 4 points, though. They're probably not going to jump up any more than where they were. I believe it was a top 4, top 5 situation for them. So Influence Rage put their best foot forward all the way up to this final match where they go out in 14th. On board here with MEZEXIS and Everest just riding along in that Jeep, my man, just taking his sweet time coming across the fields.
Yeah, MEZEXIS 5 points back for being able to get at least tied that sort of, 12th place spot against Black Mamba. Zombie Boys, a team above them, is out. They are possibly able to pass them if they can at least get a few placement points, at least a few kills even. C4, another team that, has shot themselves up into contention. You were kind of downplaying it a bit, saying it was more that 12 to 14. I mean, the 15, 16 place teams are only a few kills out, calling of being able to move up into that top 12 finish.
I think it was 12 points that pretty much separated 15 through 12, and I think right below that, I think it was 18 points, I believe. It was a decently sized number for you to have to make up in a single game. So that's why I was kind of keeping my eyes locked to that 8, 9, 10, and then, of course, the 1 point for Zombie Boys, who didn't find a way to get that Zombie Boy 1 point overtake for me to get them into top 12. So I'm just a little sad right now, but Ayala is going to have to drive across country. I hope they got a full tank of gas because they got to come all the way out of Big Daddy Blue from a hot minute away. Meanwhile, everybody else has started to rotate in here. We can see all the way at the top of the map, Ace of Spades. I mean, they're trying to play away from everybody. It looks like they are doing their best impression of somebody that doesn't want to go outside. They may Stoop Kid afraid to leave the stoop, but Trick is going to get shot up and might need to make a little trick play here to get out of harm's way. He does have his teammates right there near him to be able to back him up if he does go down.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about the zone too, PASSIONFRUIT was on that east side, just now stuck playing the edge because they had to take this fight, take the 2 free points. They're a bit of a bubble team, basically, I think, securing themselves into that top 12 finish. But Intense Gaming trying to go on the hunt, I think, for Execute. They know they did good damage on him. Maybe they're going to be a bit greedy, like Trick is already 1 HP driving on a rotate, and they might have actually caught him out here calling at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, might have gotten that call out, might have gotten shots onto him. This is going to be Mythic.
Wait, what?
Pushing straight into this area, but instead continues to just drive. I mean, we're hearing shots ring out all over the place. Kindness with a down onto Chief. Chief down from Loops and quickly on over to N Hyper's viewpoint here. Koi with shots onto Extreme. Ren shots toward another player from Execute, excuse me. My goodness, I was trying to look at all the names in the background and started losing my train of thought there, but what is this, 4 teams in a small area?
I mean, this is the edge of the zone. Loops, I was completely baffled when you just said Mythic just driving right on through. I'm like, what the heck? How did he end up here? Execute, no, not really making this rotate without casualties. Loops recognizing that they can't cross this, and then Hyper, team that I'm really eyeing at, really holding this coastline, this this riverside down tremendously.
As we see Big Daddy moving in, Adrian outside as well as Diego, and I believe one player is still trying to mount up a chance to take them out as they try to go inside. GK here all the way across, shot on possibly to Chief. If Chief pokes back out on the other side of that rock, just trying to hold this position here. Ayala
His
moves
buggy
over to
got
maybe
popped.
have the back. Oh, what a shot there. Damage on a Chief. And Chief, I think now is in Big Daddy Blue, so I believe he has a chance to go out here.
And I mean, his buggy's down. Intense Gaming decided to stay in the zone and pick up a little bit of a freebie point. Everyone just getting caught out on rotates, it seems, right now. I mean, PASSIONFRUIT even picking up a few points onto YKG. C4 picked up another one at some point during that confrontation with Execute. And a lot of these teams that I think, they maybe were playing it a little too casual in the previous weeks of, this northern zone. We just get a free rotate in on the bridge. And Hyper said, heck no. We're holding you to it, putting the blue against the wall onto you. And Loops, having to make, we could see it on the map, super spread out rotation, trying to snake in, and everyone being congested north of Rozhawk.
Well, we'll see here where they start to push out at as Black Mamba now has taken over the Stoop Kid position as they are not pushing into the top side of that zone, the very north side of that zone. Intense as well, way outside of the zone. I mean, they have got a long way to traverse to get back into it. On board with C4. C4 has 5 elimination points to their name, and they've eliminated Zombie Boys for themselves, as well as one player from a different team. So they've got to be feeling good. I talked earlier about how C4 needed to get a team fight win under their belt, and then just try to rotate into the zone, take care of business. But that is going to be a nade to the top side of the building, trying to get that first knock. Mythic nade over the top of the ledge, gets some damage, but Ayala comes back with one of his own onto one player from C4. And this is going to be, I believe, who is that? Is that CC down inside the building?
Yeah, he had been shot from one of the C4 players and then finished off with the nade. But Loops, a squad that can play at a man disadvantage in C4. This is do or die. They're against the #1 team that has nothing to lose and getting caught with a nade out of all things. C4 fumbling this 4v2 right now, ending up to be a 1v2 just down to one player, and he hits the shot. Ayala had to have gotten the res on a Mythic at some point. 2v1 situation, and Scourge is trying to heal in a little bit of a shack. Almost getting team naded, actually. Ooh!
Oh!
The beam! It's a 1v1!
Mythic has to try to relocate his options here. He's going to throw the Molotov inside of the window. Won't be able to pick up any damage. That player moves out, goes for the pickup onto Ayala. Now Mythic just flying at him and takes care of business. C4 goes out in 13th place, and that guarantees them a spot in Challengers Enigma.
Yeah, and I mean, 6 points. I think they must have been just 1 or 2 points short, at least from having a chance. If Black Mamba somehow fumbled, 0 kills, 0 placement points, they might have been able to squeeze by. But unfortunately for them, the back-to-back champs have to go play Challengers now to try to reclaim their spot in Premier Championships. So, we'll have to wait and see for that. I believe that's Monday as well, if anyone in chat is interested. PASSIONFRUIT right now holding 3 kills to their name. 2 of them were a bit of freebies, but just Zuko now, unfortunately, holding this Eastern Compound. Jaguar might have a bit of a notion that he's there. Waco trying to do some sort of TPP angle onto the compound, and I think it's only a matter of time before Zuko gets killed here.
All right, Enigma, I'm gonna give you a freebie real quick right here while we're talking, baby.
Oh,
okay?
gosh.
When you got a show on Monday, you don't come out there with if anybody's interested. All right, you got a show on Monday. You better see everybody in chat back here in about 72 hours. Okay, you got 4 days to get yourself. You got 4 days to get your energy back up. Okay, it's Thursday.
Listen,
all right,
I think it's 72 hours.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Days, though, I think.
Is it? All right, look, you got 72 hours, and then you can rest up for a day. But you better make sure you stay back into it with your energy. What is it? 72 plus 24. Okay, you're looking at 96. You got 96 hours. Well, you better find yourself back here with the Titan series, the Challengers. You don't want to be interested. You want them locked in and ready to go, like Ace of Spades is trying to be locked in here on Black Mamba. Okay, you better see your behind back here watching that Challengers. Not if you're interested. You better be back here, okay, Enigma? You better be.
Yeah. I'll have the boxing glove on, you know, right behind him
There
when
you
I'm
go.
saying it next time.
That's right.
It'll be the whole 9 yards next time.
Better have that frying pan, baby. We talking PUBG Mobile. You better have a frying pan when you tell them to come back here on Monday, all right?
I'll do it in the chicken outfit, you know, Colin. You
go.
should sponsor me a chicken outfit, I think, and I'll wear it next cast. There we go. Great idea.
Hey, if you put that in writing, baby, you will have a chicken outfit on your way.
Something about chickens, though. I mean, Lube's still trying to make this work. Oh my goodness, the double nade out of Mythic. What is going on? SLR, a team that I thought was doing really nice plays all entire day, getting caught out, absolutely destroyed by Loops. And I mean, it doesn't matter if they're 4 players, if they're 3 players, 2 players is enough to get a full squad wipe.
Mythic has had some absolutely mythical shots going on. Another big damage shot out there by CC, almost finding himself another knock. They went from 4 elims to 7 very quickly and eliminated SLR after quickly eliminating C4. So Loops, they're having fun at this point. They might as well be laughing it up. But just, hey, look, we're going to take every fight possible. We're going to try to ruin somebody else's day out here.
Listen, it's unfair. It's unfair that this good. I mean, what do you say to someone when they're taking a fight, you know, man advantage, and they just get double naded, jumped out of the window, insta-killed by a DBS? Like, you almost just sit back going, what the heck just happened?
All you got to do is shake your head and move on, because if you don't know what happened, ain't nobody going to be able to explain it to you, brother. You're just going to have to accept your fate at this point. On board with Jaguar here. Seba, Wako, looking around. They got one player up in a car, and MEZEXIS is right here, and I believe that's Crow. Crow got tagged up a little bit right there. YKG might be able to put some hurt on him. This is going to be Joey trying to get those shots to go. I believe that's the M16 in his hands, trying to shoot to the top side of that ledge.
Getaway
trying
car.
to get that last knockdown.
Crow
Hops
got
back into
out.
the... Crow did get out, but I think you pressure this. I mean, you got him hurt, baby. You got a chance to try to push up on him.
I mean, the problem is those YKG at some point lost a player, so if they're taking the fight, if they're wanting an Overwatch, that's only 2 players up front versus possibly 4 of MEZEXIS holding him. YKG possibly able to get some sort of shots. They're not going to be in nade range, unfortunately. They've got a few freebies, but as we see on the map on the right, Zuko somehow made it in. Jaguar, I think, is just on the edge of zone on the south side, and we're going to see a lot of mayhem go down if this centers towards N-Hyper.
I really don't understand how in the world Intense has stayed alive this long with as many players that have been out in Big Daddy Blue, with them being held off by other teams. I mean, they have somehow found a way to snake into this matchup as close as they can to this top 10 position. We got 11 teams remaining here, and shots are going to ring out all over the place, and MEZEXIS has to be careful. They could get sandwiched here if Ace of Spades decides to turn and take shots in the opposite direction. Extreme Slayers to their south, YKG to their east, Ace to their west. This could get very interesting very quickly. We just stay on board here with MEZEXIS. They actually have the shots on here. Black Mamba, Ace of Spades fighting. Looks like they're playing rock, paper, scissors, a ring around the rosy, but finally somebody from Black Mamba comes away with a down. Come on, 2! That's going to be Spotlight with a double elimination and will eliminate Ace of Spades in 11th.
And that's the 12th place team getting points on the board. They're down to just 2. Thankfully, the zone shifted towards them. 3 of these bottom, I'd say almost 6 teams that are wanting to finish in that top 12 position, getting a bit of zone bless, a bit of love out of the PUBG gods themselves. A lot of teams even not opting to fight and try to eliminate them early. So hopefully for them, they're almost just praying, okay, hopefully someone just rotates into the center in front of us, prones on their buggy or something weird, and we just get a few freebie points to try to just hold on to that finals play.
Let's see if they can hold on to it and achieve it as well. We're going to be on here with N-Hyper. Kindness, to be exact. Shots over the top of that hill toward Diego. Doesn't have a chance to pick one up. Jaguar on that opposite side. PASSIONFRUIT, meanwhile, gets eliminated on the opposite side of the map there with 3 elims to their name and in 10th place. Kindness still trying to just bunny hop around this area, just pop his dome, take a shot, pop back down, out of sight. Kindness will hop up into the buggy and start to scoot away here on with Adrian and Cello from Intense Game. Diego has gone down, so they're going to go for the revive here on a Diego. I don't know if anybody's in a position to push up on that either and try to get that elimination, but Adrian gets it down onto Rin. Kindness answers back with the one on Adrian. So trading shots, trading damage. Kindness trying to get the shots onto the Jeep. Won't be able to get that first one to really connect, but I think Hyper has the advantage here, Enigma.
Yeah, and I mean, they have the uphill advantage. Unfortunately, Rin's knocked, but a big nade out of Kindness getting the knock. He doesn't know if Cello's off to the right. Diego might give away this position now, but Hyper opting to not even be playing the compound, trying to force these teams and force themselves a few fights for kills to pick up these points, because we're looking at Intense Gaming. They're not able to get those reses. They have a team just to their south side. I believe the last duo of Jaguar pushing them around the mountain. We're seeing even execute on that western side, and Hyper just has all sorts of hill control going on.
And it's going to be Rin and Hyper. All 4 players still up, taking shots here, and Rin's going to try to get behind this tree, try to get off some heals just to make sure that they don't go down with the next possible bullet that flies their way. And we are in the top 8 teams left in this one. Everest knocked there onto Trick, and the finish comes in from a teammate. So another player will go out there. This is just going to get more and more dicey for Execute as they are getting squished between Intense and MEZEXIS in this position.
Yeah, and I mean, MEZEXIS, the team that's eating the kills, getting the kills on the Trick. I believe Black Mamba was eliminated by MEZEXIS as well, a team that was on that bubble. We'll have to wait and see for the match results at the end to see if they're able to pull through or not. Hyper really, oh my goodness, Intense Gaming opt to rotate in front of Hyper, saying you're playing this way too loose on the hill. Maybe a bit of a freebie knock with the nade, gets it, and it's essentially just a 1v4 call. I'm not seeing how Cello makes it out of this.
Well, let's see if Intense can make it out of this, and Cielo trying to stay alive in that corner, trying to back up into it as well. Hyper, both the window and the door covered up and taking out Intense Game in 8th position here. And just adding on to their tally, that's going to be 6 elimination points for Hyper, as well as good positioning inside of this building. Right at the edge, I believe. So they have got Jaguar to worry about coming to the top side of that hill, and that's going to be Seba and Wako just looking to the top side of that building. Last 2 players alive for Jaguar. YKG with 3, Loops with 2, Execute with only 1, Extreme Slayers and Hyper and MEZEXIS all with 4 up, but Crow is going to be trying to rotate in here to pick up Skyline. If Skyline can get this heal off and then get inside of the car.
A little bit of a taxi service going on. I like to see it, not opting to just leave him to play solo Snake, just, regroup. We're in the last game. Let's just try to stay together as a 4-man. I'd really like to see some sort of aggression onto Casper and then onto Hyper if they're willing to be able to, try to remember that sort of kill feed, that information game, knowing that, hey, there's probably only 1 or 2 players on this right side. But Hyper is going to be the team, I think, on the next zone shift that's going to have to make some sort of do or die, full send, smoke chain, whatever it may be, to try to get themselves into the next zone.
Well, Casper just doing their best impression of the friendly ghost. He wants to stay out of sight, out of mind behind that tree and try not to get eliminated for his squad as they have no elim points in this one. We go back on the board with Everest. Looking across the top of the field, MEZEXIS now with 2 elimination points, but all 4 players still up. I think they really need to be able to get some of these shots early and get another team wipe here, but the 2 players from Jaguar just holding their positioning to the best of their ability. Checking their 6 here, checking their 9 o'clock, really. Back left, and that's going to be GK. Top side of this hill, nade in hand, and Seba has a good idea, but not the right spot. Pokes his head out and goes to the shots, gets some damage on, but is not able to get either of those knocks, but now knows which tree both of those players are behind. Cooks the nade, lets it go. It flies to the front, but doesn't get any damage, but I don't know if he caught that Seba rotated to the left-hand side. Seba rotated left and has a chance to possibly get that shot off, but GK is going to get inside the buggy and try to get out of here. But Everest from the angle gets the shots on, and Fears as well get to down themselves. So in an effort to try to get an extra elimination, Rin from downtown gets one of his own, and my goodness, Enigma, we had one fight break out, and everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's head sticking out like a sore thumb or something, and now we're in a spot where Casper was able to get in for free. MEZEXIS completely ignored the fact that, hey, someone might just be on a tree. Loops even taking shots at YKG. One of them was on the very edge of zone looking at the Jaguar players proning. I was almost thinking he was just going to be taking shots on them while running in, make that sort of 1 point, get a kill and die kind of play, but for them being able to get into the zone, and the zone shifts back west. MEZEXIS thankfully getting a full reset, but Colin, I mean, this is anyone's game at this point.
Extreme Slayer still with all 4 up as well. Hyper has lost theirs. So we've got 2 teams with 4, 2 teams with 3, 2 teams with 2, and 1 team, that player from Execute, still staying out of sight, out of mind. Last player alive for his squadron, and we are in a top 7 situation. Shots will start to ring out here. YKG just trying to skedaddle from one tree to the next. Joey is going to get picked off there. Fears goes down as well, and YKG is eliminated in 7th place with only 1 elim point to their name. But MEZEXIS is not slowing down. They get another knock here. And I believe MEZEXIS Esports is trying to really assert themselves in this final match. Casper, bottom side of that hill, still alive and still keeping his team in this for the placement points, has played it perfectly, staying just hidden and prone crawling all the way in. And Mythic is still a man on a mission. Another knock, another elimination. Remix will finally take him, as well as CC out, and Loops, after raining down hellfire and brimstone like their name was Kane, they go out with 9 elimination points in 6th place, Enigma.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think anyone's getting close to that. We see Hyper, they do have 6, but I mean, they're down to just 2 players now. Half of their team, I think, was knocked and finished to the play zone itself, and Extreme Slayers possibly able to wipe the whole lobby, but they were quiet for the most part up until the last maybe 30 seconds, minute of this zone. 5 kills for their name, and MEZEXIS is looking to take some sort of ground on these teams.
Casper, I believe, is trying to get called out, but Casper gets the knock on Crow. Casper gets an elimination as well, and it's going to be up to Baton, and Baton finally gets the elimination there on to Casper, and Execute goes out in 5th place. We are in a top 4 situation. Extreme Slayers have got to be feeling absolutely picture perfect. They got to be feeling like a sports model on a beach right now, because they got to be looking good from those buildings. There's the elimination on the Huaco, and 1 player left.
I mean, they've got the glasses on or something, because I mean, I'm hearing them just single tap Jaguar over and over again. I mean, they're popping up in the kill feed every other second now. A team that was quiet, just chilling, dusting off the bookshelves or wherever the case may be. Now they're just full throttle sending it.
Woo!
And
Nice,
my goodness, just beamed him out of the car.
Oh, run him over. Run him over.
Send it.
Send it. Use the card as a battering ram. Make my life complete. Kindness is just going to keep circling like a shark, trying to bait out another player from MEZEXIS. And that's going to be Everest, would be next in line here. But Rin, as well as Kindness, last 2 players up for Hyper, looking to try to get an elimination. Everest is going to go to the prone crawl here. Starts to creep up to the top side of the grass. Little sneaky snake action out here. We'll have a chance to get shots on a rim, but won't be able to take them just yet. Kindness behind the rock. Kindness trying to rotate around. I believe that's a fragmentation. Last fragmentation for Everest as well. In their back pocket, pulls it now, pulls back out the M4. Looking to just try to get into a position to maybe get it down here on one of these 2 players. Nade in hand. Shots, though, gets called out. Rin, beautiful job to stop and pop with the elimination onto Everest. And now Rin looking to the left-hand side. 1 player left alive for MEZEXIS, but Kindness will go down to Extreme Slayers. And Extreme Slayers, I said they were looking good. Now they got to be feeling even better. They have got to be shooting even more incredible as they continue to come up in the kill feed. And all the way from the bottom of the mountain, them boys made a house call. They got another elimination, and they took out Hyper in 4th place. Extreme Slayers, they've got 2 players. It's a 2v4 from 2 different squads to get this chicken dinner.
And I mean, I'm expecting some sort of run over kills, maybe a pan throw even. I'm wanting to see some sort of BM plays going. I mean, it's the last match, Colin. You're 4 up, where both players are at, basically. And it's just, why not go for that little thumbnail Twitter highlight reel clip?
Little Patrick Mahomes grenade from way downtown gets some damage, and that player so very hurt, but not down yet. And another nade will be cooked up here. Looking for the long-range throw, but the Big Daddy Blue will take care of Jaguar's last player. They are eliminated in third place, and Skyline, only one left, creeping through the grass with barely any health to their name.
And I'm not
Barely
sure
any
for the
vest
bubble
left.
falling. Maybe he goes for a knock and finish.
No
and he
need.
gets
No
bumped.
need. Remix said, let me scratch the record one time for you and play you this new track. It's called Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. Extreme Slayers on top of this final match of the week.
Yeah, and I mean, Extreme Slayers really just played that sort of safe game. Let's just sit in the compound. Fortunately, they got the zone shifts onto them, and they played it tremendously. I mean, bunch of frags at the end. They were knocking players time and time again, and it's just, it proves that that team is putting in the work when others need to be watching how they're playing.
Other teams need to keep their eyes on a team like Extreme Slayers. Played very well week in and week out. They kept plugging along, trying to find an opening to get themselves just a little bit higher in the standings. They got into those final buildings, and they said, look, we're going to be hot. We're going to get some eliminations, but there is no way on planet Earth we'd have to become the sun to be as Hot Jukes.
Hey, let's go. I'll tell you what. That's pretty dang hot right there because, I mean, they turned things up at Sandhawk. They got a second place finish. And then now at Chicken Dinner here, I mean, you couldn't ask for a stronger end to a week. So, I mean, I think teams definitely need to keep their eyes on Extreme Slayers. There's always those little scary squads, that haven't been consistently at the top, but they get hot right when they need to, Enigma.
Yeah, I mean, the team that needed it the most was MEZEXIS and Hyper and Mize, and they proved, I mean, the elims alone maybe solidified them into that top 12 finish. But MEZEXIS, one of your more favorite teams, if I remember, Jukes. How do you feel going to that last match? I'm seeing a lot of plays go on where it's, they finished well. Maybe a lot of stuff went right in their way, but I felt they were also doing a lot of stuff wrong.
Yeah, I think MEZEXIS is overthinking things too much. I mean, they did pretty rough in PMWI. They made some roster changes pretty quickly afterwards. So now you're dealing with a whole new team, new roster. Yeah, the synergy is going to take a little while. They do have a couple players that have been playing together for a long time. But overall, I think MEZEXIS definitely have a lot of work to do here, Colin.
They still got a lot of work to do. I mean, they were pretty impressive in this final match, but they did a lot of it with the ambush plays. They really didn't take anything heads up until the very end, and then they started to lose one player after the next, coming all the way down to that final. I mean, for them, they've got to find a way to have the kind of gun skill competence that a team like Loops has. When you saw them turn and try to burn, they got those eliminations, but toward the end there, it was like they were getting picked off one after the next, and it was like the early game plans went out the window.
Yeah, and you just see it here, the struggle from so many of these teams. Some really good nade play in this last game. GK first thread, the needle right there, getting a nice knock onto a tense game. This was a really heads-up fight from them. I'm glad we actually got to see and Hyper get a decent finish on an international team.
I just love the way that Hyper took that fight. Again, I got to see it when we saw it firsthand. One player at the window, one player at the door. That was a perfect pincer movement. They knew that he couldn't look at both of them at one time because even though we like to joke that people have high eyes in the back of their head, unless they got some surgery I ain't never heard about, nobody does.
No, they don't. You got to use them ears. Got to hear them footsteps. You can see Ren. Yeah, he tried to pop out that vehicle, instantly taken out. I love the fact that we're seeing Extreme Slayers finish the game strong, Enigma, right? I mean, even when you have the position, right? Even though you have what we would all say, right, is an easy dub, you still got to finish it. And Extreme Slayers can show that if they get that opening, they're going to take.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at the damage in the elims. I think Uneven said it perfectly. In my eyes, being a previous player, a knock and a finish, 200 damage. We're looking at 800 here with 6 kills. For them, at least, it's a lot of just, we got the points. Let's not worry about us not, taking these insane gunfights and dropping insane damage in the match. Let's just play it how it should be. So for them, it's great seeing them not really overstress it about it. But looking at this, I mean, highest damage in the lobby right now is Kindness with 669. Absolutely fragging. I was thinking it was going to be Rin. Seeing the buggy spray with the 4x M4 of all guns was just absolutely absurd to me. But I mean, Kindness, the one that was hitting nades just like the rest of his team. But the overall is what I'm interested to see, baby. Extreme Slayers, looking at it, 9 elims. Do you think they're moving up at all, Jukes?
I mean, I think so. I mean, how could you not? 19 points on the board. That's going to feel pretty good right there. Then, yeah, MEZEXIS and Hyper getting some nice points as well. That was all about securing that top 12, right? You want to make sure you make it into the finals. We talked about those bonus points. They're definitely huge, Colin, but they don't mean everything.
They do not mean everything, but I think MEZEXIS might have done enough to get themselves into contention there with the 6 elims, the 6 rank points. They gave themselves the best possible effort to get into a position to make that final jump. Of course, Zombie Boys, they come out with a big donut across the board. They look like me after about 20 minutes with my first 6 Krispy Kremes, okay? Because there's only 3 left right there. It's 3 O's right across that board, and that breaks my heart, but what can you do at this point other than just shake your head and say, I tried, baby. I gave it my best, and I was hoping y'all were going to do the same.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's the effort that counts. And let's see, I think it's time to see whose effort really ended up on top. And of course, it's going to be Loops, but look at Extreme Slayers.
Wow.
All the way up to second place. And then looking at that 12, MEZEXIS.
By 1 point. 1 point. Oh, my goodness gracious. Ace of Spades. They had it in the back pocket, I guess. They said, look, we're going to have to hold on to this one, and we got to slip it out the sleeve at some point, baby. We going to have to, because we going to try to stay in this top 12 come heck of high water.
Wow. That has got to hurt. I mean, at the start of this, this team played in an international tournament, Enigma. Are you surprised to see them struggling here so bad?
Well, NHyper was the team that was supposed to go, so it's not too much better, seeing NHyper make it with just 1 point over, but 10 through 12, 44, 44, 44. It literally could have just been anyone's games there, and it comes down, I think, to Casper not being in the friendly ghost anymore, catching out one MEZEXIS player, and as soon as you leave, you lose that one player, it starts coming back to you and thinking, oh my goodness, we're down a player, we need to play more conservative, and then they're thinking of that, and then it comes down to NHyper recognizing this sort of hesitation that Colin put a lot of emphasis on, and just being like, hey, these people aren't watching us. They come in, get the wipe almost onto MEZEXIS, and let themselves get into the zone for them to be able to get into that top 12. So NHyper, I think, blew it out of the water with that last match in terms of their plays, but MEZEXIS just 1 point short.
Makes me think, right? We saw that last player from MEZEXIS laying down, just chilling, right? Well, we saw 4 players kind of driving around, trying to find that last one. What if they just got one more elimination? What if you decided to take those shots? It's those little micro plays that definitely hurt. But I think overall, you got to look at your whole squad, right? Thinking, how did we even end up here in the first place, right, Colin?
You've got to look back at the entirety of the game. Every little micro decision, like you said, ends up having some kind of effect. These games can boil down to a singular fight and a singular pull of the trigger. But at the end of the day, if you get to those end game situations, there's a heck of a lot more than one pull here or one step there that probably got your team into that position. And MEZEXIS, I think early on, they've got to be cautious later on in life of understanding their position and understanding how many people are left alive in the zone, because like Enigma said, I kept calling out Casper was the friendly ghost. He was just trying his best to stay out of sight and out of mind. They don't clear that bottom side of the hill. They don't clear that bottom side of the zone as a unit. They give one player the chance to get shot on and taken out, and that comes back to bite them.
Yep. It hurts. It hurts bad, and I think what I want to see from MEZEXIS in the future, I want to see them stick with the roster, right? Stick with the team that you got. Put in that effort, get that synergy going, and fix the problems that you're having. Because, to see a team that's competed at the stages that they have and struggle this hard here in Titan Series, it's rough to see, right? But we could definitely see a comeback any time of the week, right? So you got to go ahead and get that homework done, Enigma. I'm going to take a look here at the maps and see exactly how the results all shook out. And we did see some North American presence.
Nice.
I like to see that, right? Let's go and execute chicken dinner. I'll take 1, Enigma.
Well, at least someone won out here. Execute a little bit of a freebie, I guess you could say, maybe. I was really thinking, Ace was going to be winning that themselves, but, good looks from them. Loops, of course, the Sandhawk map was just immaculate. Every single fight they took, it didn't even look like a fight if it's one-sided. And just, I mean, Extreme Slayers, I'm seeing them multiple times on the map results. And, you know, it just proves that they're able to keep learning. And it separates players from the good from the great, with teams and individual players being able to look back at these matches, not only from when you're playing good, but when you're playing bad, and being able to learn from those mistakes. So shout out to them. You know, a little bit of rougher performances in the first 2 maps, but the last 2 they showed out.
Well, you know what? That is going to be it for this. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Challenger Finals team so you can see which teams are going to be joining up the fray. And you can see right here, this is it, right? So Challenger Finals. MEZEXIS going to have one final opportunity, one last chance to prove themselves to make it to the Premier Finals here, Colin.
They do have one last chance, along with Black Mamba, Zombie Boys, and C4. Those bottom 4 teams here from weekly play end up in that Challenger Finals, but they've got some pretty stiff competition. I look across the board at those bottom 3 rows, and I'm telling you, they've got to be careful. It's not like they can just take advantage of these teams. They can't walk into this like it's a ballroom dance. They got to go into it like it's the war room.
I agree, and I'll tell you what, Wall Street Bets I see down there. I know my boy Slimmy's ready to get into the action. Come Challenger Finals. Monday is going to be the day, guys. Mark your calendars. We can go ahead and see that, because you definitely want to know, right, who makes it on over into the Premier Finals. Any final thoughts here, Enigma?
I'm looking at K19. You know, the boy HH might be playing. Previous teammate of mine, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, I'd be worried if I'm the bottom 4 teams. We just streamed all 3 weeks of tournament play, and everyone's going to be looking at how you played.
Colin?
Hey, look, my final thoughts are this. I appreciate each and every one of you for letting me come onto these casts and get hype and get excited. It's my first foray into PUBG Mobile, so I just really appreciate you guys for welcoming with open arms. Enigma, Uneven, Hot Jukes, all 3 of you putting up with me, and of course, Taylor Reflex is Noble the first week. So I appreciate you guys for letting me drop by. It's my last time with you, so I can't thank you enough for being so welcoming and warming to me.
Man, thank you for joining us. You did a killer job, brother. Hope to see you again in the future. Remember, guys, Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific. That is going to be the day, the time. You know where to be. This is Hot Jukes. This is the Titan series. We'll see you guys on the next one.